So proudly we hail, and the twilight lies gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket track, the bomb busting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land under the fray, and the home of the brave. Because we are the brave. Yes, we are the brave. We'll fight you in the name of the brave. We are the US of A. For those unaware, that flag is still there. It's our future to save. This land of the brave, the US of A. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land under the fray, and the home of the
Okay. 200 here live on All Pro Broadcasting. We're here at the Pocono Hills of Pennsylvania for a very long and hopefully very exciting 80 laps here for the Domino's CRJ Racing Top Shelf Cup Series. Welcoming in the booth tonight, we have our famous, very popular broadcaster, Ray Richer, and we have a very new special guest member tonight, Joe Johnson. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing pretty good, Robert. Pocono Raceway, 2.5 miles of asphalt, 3 different turns, 3 different speeds, a bunch of different strategies. We'll explain a little bit more in a minute. Joe, how you doing tonight, buddy?
We're doing wonderful here tonight. We're excited to be at Pocono and watch these guys try to get around this tricky triangle. We know how slick it can be and look forward to some good racing.
A couple track facts about Pocono right now. Of course, turn 1 being the highest bank turn at 14 degrees. You can go in that pretty fast, but you still have to lift to take and set the car, because if you're flooring it, it wants to go right towards the wall. Hit turn 2, that's only 8 degrees. The banking is very subtle. It's a little bit short right now. I'm going to keep my eye on the 93 of Andrew Payne, taking his first of qualifying laps. He'll go down to turn 1 right now, a pretty good speed of 180 miles an hour. Down the long pond stretch, heading for turn 2, again, 8 degrees banking. Turn 3, even shorter, 6 degrees. You've got to be very careful, got to dance the car through it, let it walk its way through it. If you're on the throttle again too hard, it'll go right towards the wall or even spin out for that matter. There's a small patch of asphalt that they put in only a couple years ago. If you keep your wheels on that asphalt, not only will it save tires, but it'll also help the car turn in the long run. As we see Andrew Payne in the 93 come down the front jet, he will take and lay out his first lap. When he gets to the stripe, we'll read it out to you. 52.978, fifth fastest right now on the charts, behind the first place of Cody Griffin. But the times are coming in slowly but surely.
Yes, sir. Thank you there very much, Ray. I tell you what, this is the AD Pro 360. As the name states, AD Pro is a full-service advertising agency. They are located in Colorado Springs, Colorado. AD Pro 360 is your #1 stop shop for getting your business messages and name out into the eyes of those that need to see it. Some services they offer are, just a couple here, full in-house creative and commercial production, SEO, SEM, and paid research services, as well as media buying, messaging, and lead generation, to name just a few. I tell you what, fans, make sure you visit adproresults.com to find out how you can get your business the recognition it deserves. And I tell you what, we've been partnered up here with AdPro for quite a few months now, and they have been a big help for Domino's CRJ Racing.
Yes, sir, Robert. And watching right now, the #1 of Jason Jacoby, who is 3rd fastest on the chart, completing his 2nd lap at the stripe, seeing if he can improve that 52.419 second speed. Can't do it, but the first time ahead of him, Gary Sexton, the 17, coming in 2nd place right now. Only 1/1,000th of a second faster at 52.418 compared to 52.419. Right now on the charts, 4th will be Andrew Payne. That just jumped to Taylor Tanerico. We'll give it to him, who is 52.461. The times are coming in very slowly at this point. We got 4 minutes left before qualifying ends. There will be a couple guys starting in the rear. 14 cars right now on the board with qualifying times.
Thank you so much, Ray. Joe Johnson, thank you so much for coming on board to help us out here in the broadcast booth. Tell us what you know about the Pocono Raceway and what you're expecting for tonight's race, Joe. Or Ray, give some track facts like we were talking about earlier.
Not a problem, sir. Joe, hope you're there still, bud. Fastest lap here actually was in an IndyCar in 2014, turned by a NASCAR and IndyCar driver, Juan Pablo Montoya, at 223.871 miles an hour. These guys tonight will be hitting just under 200, especially going into 1. Fastest part of the track will be down the Long Pond stretch, which will be between 1 and 2. And as I'm saying that right now, let's get our starting lineup for this evening.
Yes, sir, Ray. If you'll go through the starting lineup, that would be awesome.
Absolutely, Robert. Starting on the point right now, the 20 car will be the Colin Bowden machine. Time of 52.076. Fastest time on the track. Second on the outside of the front row will be the 55 of Ryan Hill. The 193 of Scott Sanderson will be the inside of the second row in the third point. 98 of David Washington will be in the fourth row. Cody Griffin in the 48 will start on the inside of the third row with a time of 52.379 miles an hour. Excuse me, time-wise. Outside of him looks to the sixth spot of Gary Sexton. Inside will be number 1 of Jason Jacoby. The 42 of Talentano Rico will be on the outside of Jacoby. The fifth row looks to be the inside ninth of Buzz Moore. Outside will be the 93 of Andrew Payne in the 10th spot. 11th, we have the 75 of James Nunn. And our fan favorite, the 56 of Josh Bonwell. We're hoping his mom's watched tonight in the 12th position. Shane Parrish in the 81 will start in the 13th place. 14th will be the 54 of Brandon Cruz. 15th place, another fan favorite, Domino's TYJ veteran of Curtis Young. 16th place on the outside of him will be the 10 of Nick Reynolds. 17th place on the inside, Jesse Abrams. The 99 of Colton Salick on the outside of him. And with the final time coming in, the 19th place of the 24 of Eric Stanford, a fellow New Yorker like myself. Everybody else from here on out did not turn in any times. We'll be starting towards the back. In the 20th place, the 27 of Aston Crowder. 21st place, Ryan Matthews. 22nd, Raymond Rittenhauer II. 23rd will be the 32 of Dustin Lee. 24th place will start the 88 of Kyle Kamer. Mark Jackson in the 3 will take up the 25th spot. The 89 of Giovanni Bramante in the 26th position. 27th will be William Moore. The 28th position, William Davis. 29th, George Hendricks. And rounding out your top 30 will be the 04 of Brian Coots. From there on back, 31st through 35th will be a top 35 positioners will be Jack Watts, Ellery Queen, Wesley Whitefield, Jeremy Crandall, and the last place of Jeff T. Martin. But don't keep him there very long. He's a damn good driver. I've raced against him. He's very smart, very quick on his feet. We got a nice field for this evening of 35 cars.
Thank you so much, sir, Ray. We do have a lot of very talented drivers. Some have chosen to qualify up front. Obviously, at this 2.5 mile tri-circled racetrack, tricky, there you go. Thank you, sir, Ray. The tricky triangle. You might want to be up front to have your best chance to win the race. And but some of these guys are expecting a few cautions, so it'll be very exciting and interesting to see if the guys starting in the back can make it up front, or if they'll be going one lap down here in the first 25 laps.
I think pit strategy may come into play here, Robert, especially with these high horsepower motors. They suck a lot more fuel than these Xfinity cars, which we raced last week. With that being said, I believe they can get about 35 laps, maybe 32 out of them. These guys will be mostly flooring it around the track with the exception of turn 3. Of course, that's the one you got to dance around, the lowest banking, 6 degrees. And they just got to be really careful around each other, so if they don't get back into it where the rear end wants to come around, or you want to tap the guy on the outside of you. So without any further ado, we'll see the field going to turn 3. We'll watch the pace car bring them down to the front stretch, and we'll call the start.
Yes, sir, Joe Johnson, are you back with us now?
Yes, sir, Robert. We're very excited. Looking for the green flag now as the cars begin to roll out of 3. I'll be watching Colin Bowden on the start to see how he does down there in turn 1.
Green.
Watching right now, car pulls off, green flag in the air. Colin Bowden brings him down to the stripe.
Yes, sir, Joe, go ahead and take.
Colin Bowden side by side with the 55 as they race off into 1. They're going to fan out 5 wide down the front straightaway, and this is why we love Pocono.
With that being said, Ryan Hill looks like he's going to try to take the point to the outside of the 20 of Colin Bowden. Very big dogfight already down to turn 1. Behind them, a scatter of cars basically all over the place. Nobody taking single file. Smart moves. There's multiple lines here around the track as the 20 takes the point right into turn 2 and get right in front of the 55 of Hill.
He's on his inside as they begin to work down towards that turn 3, and we'll see how they get through there. We know it's awful tricky.
Ryan Hill going to the inside, trying to take that car and keep it low. Of course, that Bowden using that strip of asphalt I mentioned earlier, but side by side, he takes the point again. Goes to the low side, not sure what strategy this is all about. Gets out of the way of Hill, still has the lead. Trying to take, and I guess he was trying to cut the draft going on. I've seen the Indy cars do that. They went in here before. Again, Colin Bowden will take the lead.
David Washington, let's give a hat tip to him. Talking about some driving. Car got sideways off 3. He has just a little bit of front end damage, but he saves the position. Back in 10th place, he's going to lose a ton of spots right now.
With that being said, on the inside of him, the 42 of the 75. Looking to see who that is off the bat. Must have had a pretty good jump. Wrong side, almost taps fenders with Washington, but they're still underway. Everybody makes it through nice and clear.
Back up front, I've got my eye on Colin Bowden. We got a 2-car battle between him and Ryan Hill. You can't seem to quite separate from him, but I tell you what, Colin's got a fast car in that 20. We'll see what he can do tonight in that Chevrolet SS.
Looks like he's trying to cut that draft again from Hill. Hill follows him down to the inside fence, but doesn't seem to keep in his draft. Has a run back up to the track. They get to the high side to set up for turn 1. There's at least 8 positions between the second and third spot.
Third spot, Cody Griffin. He's doing real good. Scott Sanderson's in 4th, and Jason Jacoby's going to round out our top 5. Right now, it looks like everybody's just trying to start settling in here at Pocono. It's a long race, and these drivers know that patience is going to be what gets them up front. So I'm interested to see exactly how they're going to play out tonight using strategy.
Caution out, caution out. We're going to take a look back towards the back. Looks to be the 27 of Ashton Crowder coming out of 1. It looks like, let's see what happens here in the replay. It almost looks like he came down, and involved in that wreck would be the 97 of Jesse Abrams. Jesse tapped him on the left rear corner. Unfortunately, seemed to spin on him. Trying to see what happened beforehand. I'm going to back it up, guys.
Yes, sir. We're going to pull the replay up real quick, see exactly what happened, fans. And make sure you stay tuned here. We're going to give you all the details, fans, on how you can win the free large 3-topping Domino's pizza here in just a couple of minutes. We're going to go over this replay real quick. It looks to me like right now, real quick, guys, the 97 had a really good run on the 27 of Ashton Crowder. And it looks like the 97 just barely got into his right rear and it spun both of them around.
One of the lucky ones to get out of that was a 51 of Ryan Matthews. Once they turned around and started going sideways down the long pond stretch, Matthews just had enough speed to get away from that wreck. About a few more feet, he would have been involved in it. But yes, that's exactly what I see, Robert.
I'm down here in the pits right now. It looks like that 27 car of Ashton Crowder is going to have a lot of damage, and we know just how important aerodynamics are here at Pocono. So it'll be interesting to see if his pit can get that damage fixed and get him back out there in time.
Yeah, absolutely, Joe, especially with these high-speed tracks. They're almost hitting, like I said, almost 200 miles an hour. This is the longest front stretch in NASCAR that they run. I'm going to find out what information there is on that for that. I know it is the longest one, so they get the highest speeds on the flat with no restrictor plates, of course, at that point in time, going at the fastest speed down to 1.
I tell you what, fans, this is exactly how you're going to win your free large 3-topping pizza. All you have to do, fans, is be the first person to pick the winner of this race. This race is 80 laps, so before lap 40, the first fan who can actually pick the winner of this race, and this is simply how you do it, fans. You can either text 919-883-7497, or if you're in the live chat, you can also comment there. Say, I picked this driver to win the race. You might want to wait a few more laps. It's up to you. But we will definitely update you. We've given away, Ray and Joe, about 26 pizzas so far this year in 2017. We love giving away the free pizzas. And that's all you got to do, fans, to win your free pizza.
You know, Robert, that's one of the reasons that makes this thing so special is how Domino's TYJ gets the fans involved. And speaking of involved, Ryan Hill was the first car to hit pit road. Took 4 tires, 2 cans of Sunoco fuel. Looks like our leader Colin stayed out, so it'll be interesting to see how those new tires stack up against those old ones.
With that being said, I finally found the track fact on that. The front stretch of Pocono, 3,740 feet. That's almost 3/4 of a mile. Now, keep in mind the speedway is 2.5 miles long. A lot of racing room. The unfortunate part is these cautions are about 2 minutes apiece, so 3 minutes. We got 6 minutes goes by. We'll do our best to give you any information we can.
As always, it's good to see the fans of Domino's TYJ Top Shelf Cup Series interacting on YouTube tonight. Everybody's in
an hour. Qualified second, obviously still in second. Fastest mover we got right now. Not sure if it was because of the wreck, but I like this guy too. The number 3 of Mark Jackson. He started without a time in the top 25, 25th to be exact. Right now in the 7th place spot.
Tell you what, Ryan Hill looked bad fast early on, so I'm going to be interested to see how he does tonight. I think he's got a good car. Seems like he's really not attacking the track. He's just going with the track as how it changes and taking what's given to him. So I like that 55. We'll see how he ends up.
Now keep in mind, don't count anybody out. Of course, now I'm watching this. I see that, I'm not sure if it was the pit strategy or not, but I see Mark Jackson has now bounced to the 2nd place position. I assume that a couple guys have taken some tires and some fuel. Another quick mover, the 88 of Kyle Kammer. Again, this is way early in the race, of course. He started 24th, again, without a time. He is now in the 3rd spot. He was starting on the inside of the 2nd row. Now, one thing here of Domino's TYJ, the leader has lane choice on the start. I personally think it'd be kind of wise to stick to the outside here, being that there's not a lot of traction down low, and of course you can kind of arc it pretty decent in the turn 1 as long as the guy down below kind of keeps the car down there, but he's got to lift a little bit. With that also being said, the choice for the leader is to when to fire the engine. So when the pace car pulls off, it's at his discretion. But here at Pocono, the green light comes out literally within a matter of a second after the pace car pulling off. So that's very difficult to do here, if at all. So regardless, we should see a good start.
I'll tell you what else. Keep your eye on that Gary Sexton car back there in position number 9. Gary also runs the Xfinity Series, and he won last week. So I'd like to see how he does in this 17 tonight. I think he's going to have a good run. I know Gary. He's a great driver, and he's very patient here. So look for him to be up front before the night's over.
Absolutely, Gary. Good man, good racer. Always love racing against him. There's a couple other guys in this field, obviously, I'm not going to count out by any means either. Curtis Young, of course, in the 94. He's been a veteran, like I said before, of the Domino's TYJ Racing Leagues. Truck Series champion as of last year. Xfinity racer, as well as, before the Top Shelf, we had the Cup Series. He did a really good job, and I think he finished 2nd for the season. Won a handful of races. David Washington also right behind him, actually, in the 16th position right now. David started in 4th. Not sure what happened to him. Of course, you said they had front end damage with that turn 3 slip there. I see that he's back in the, I do believe we're going through a little bit of the field. Doubling up right now. I'm not sure where David went. I think he went, let me take a look here. I kind of lost sight of him here.
Yes, sir. It looks like Dave Washington. I'm looking myself. That's a good question right now, real quick.
Yeah, I had my eye on him for a second. He was gone.
He's all the way back in 27th, it looks like.
Yeah, watch.
He must have had some issues on pit road or something. It's going to be very exciting to see the 98 Dave Washington, who is sponsored by All Pro Broadcasting. By the way, real quick, fans, before we go any further, I want to make sure all you fans know, if you want to get a chance to win the free pizza, which we'll give the details in a minute, you want to make sure you click the subscribe button for All Pro Broadcasting. If you're watching now, all you got to do is click it. That way, you get all the race notifications Wednesday night, Thursday night, and yes, Sunday night, 8:50 p.m. Eastern. You can win a free pizza any of those 3 nights.
Now, FYI on David Washington, just a little update. He did get that damage fixed. I'm not sure if that was an extensive period of time in the pits or not, but he's back out. Looks like everything's kind of straightened back up. And as I was saying before, that outside line seems to be the fastest going on to 1 in the start. We'll see what happens out here on the restart.
Yes, sir, Ray. Go ahead, Joe.
Dogs, the lights are off here atop the pace car. The fans begin to come to their feet again as the cars work out of 3. What do you expect on this restart here, Ray?
I think Colin's going to take that shot out in front of Mark, and I think Mark's going to follow him for quite a while, but we don't count out Ryan Hill. Ryan Hill might follow him down pretty quick as we see the pace car pulling up right now to pit lane. And off it goes. The green flag immediately in the air, as I said before. Everybody fires at the same time. Bowden gets one heck of a jump. Ryan Hill right behind him. Mark fading back just a little bit, right side by side, going out in the first turn.
Here comes Mark Jackson and the rest of the Domino's TYJ field. 3 wide into turn 1, and everybody looks like they're going to make it through.
We're holding on. 48 slips up the track a little bit sideways. It looks like he's going to straighten it back up. Holds on to it. A couple cars get by him on the outside. 3 to 4 wide coming down the long pond stretch. Making it back up front, though, the 55 Ryan Hill right behind the tracks of the 20 of Bowden.
Fans, you talk about some good racing. Domino's TYJ brings you the best racing every week. Look at these guys. They're all over the track, but they're all professional. Everybody keeps in line as Ray and Colin continue to go at it. And here comes Ryan Hill now. He's going to dive down to the bottom looking for the lead.
Hill to the bottom, looks in that short line, comes up in front of Bowden, takes it away from him, not by much. Bowden trying to shoot to the outside, going to get to his door, no, to the stripe. Ryan A. Hill will lead that lap.
Ryan and Colin are up front, but don't count out Scott Sanderson. He's back here licking his chops, just waiting for these two to get at it. He's right there as they race back off into one.
Hard racing down up to the first part of the place, and I'll tell you what, outside line the place to be going through one. Bowden has the run. He's on the outside, door to door, down the long pond stretch. Hill takes it just by about a third of a car length into two. He'll have the spot.
Colin's got trouble. Here comes Scott Sanderson. He's going to look to the outside and race off towards three. Call it a fender, and now here comes Colin fighting back on the inside again.
Bowden with a crossover move off of two, door to door, down to turn three. They're going to try to make it three wide. No, not just yet. Scott Sanderson, like you said, licking his chops, wanting the piece of that pie. It's actually slowing them down enough for the rest of the crowd to catch up. Still 4 to 5 car lengths between third and fourth. We'll still do side to side. Going down the front stretch will be the 20 and 55.
Colin says not so fast. He says, I want that lead back. He's going to work back into one. Ryan A. Hill's right there as well. Three-way battle for the lead as they work off towards two. Oh, we got trouble.
Slip up off of turn one. Pushing Sanderson down the track. No caution. He's out of the groove. iRacing has not called it yet. The 55 has already apologized, but I think it's a little too late. With that being said, the 93 of Andrew Payne joins the whole battle up front. He'll try to take away the second spot. With that being said, the 55 of Hill losing traction will let Bowden get a good lead, at least 5 car lengths now.
Ryan Hill looks like he's got a little bit of damage on that left front. It's probably going to slow him down, and he's probably going to have to get that fixed on the next pit. I look for that 93 to be able to go ahead and get by him and expect him to lose some position as they race back off into one as well.
20 trying to cut the draft like he does all the time, especially when he has the opportunity, especially right now. Going down to turn one, a good 10 car length lead. At least half a second back to the 55 of Hill. Hill holding on for all it's worth right now. I see the left front of that hood up in the air, catching a lot of air, especially with that wreck what happened last lap. Unfortunately, no caution, and, it puts the one, let me see here again, I'm sorry who that was, 183 of Sanderson. I believe he's going to be in the pits this time trying to fix what he can.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I got to interject real quick, guys. That was unfortunate. The 55 came down just a little bit and just barely touched the 193 coming off that corner, and it's sent the 193 into the inside wall. Unfortunate for the 193, Scott Sanderson. He locked it up in the grass, but obviously got some major damage. I tell you what, you guys, this is exactly what can happen here at Pocono. Unfortunately, the caution did not come out, and looks like Scott Sanderson will have to live for another day.
Looks like the battle right now is over second place. It doesn't seem to be heating up all that much, which is fine because everybody kind of falls in the line. It's only lap 12 of baby, got a long ways to go. Kind of broke up into about 2 or 3 different packs there. The 55 of Hill, the 93 of Andrew Payne, doing a fantastic job just taking and drafting each other, trying to catch up to Bowden. They have knocked off that just a hair. Well, with that being said, Andrew goes to the inside line. To the left rear corner of the 55 of Hill will be door-to-door going down through turn 3.
I tell you what, by the end of the night, Ryan Hill is going to be sick of the number 93. Here comes Andrew Payne. He's going to look to the inside, thinks better of it, pulls back in line as they race down that long front straightaway. But here comes the 3.
Mark Jackson fighting back for third place put. He's on the inside of the 93, going down to turn 1. I think he's going to have it. Sure looks like he's got it by a half a car length. The 93 of Payne fighting back as much as he possibly can. They will be door-to-door down the long pond stretch.
I tell you what, this is an incredible battle for the lead here at Pocono. These drivers have spent many laps practicing, and they have definitely got their game together tonight. I am completely blown away of Ray and Joe at the way these leaders are racing. This is incredible to watch.
One car I've been keeping my eye on all night is that 42 car. It seems like he's just taking care of his stuff. He's not over racing anybody. He's racing the track. He just pulled into 4th, boys. You better keep an eye on him all night long.
Tanner Tellerico, a little bit of a man in the movie. Started 8th right now, 5th, of course, behind the tire tracks of Mark Jackson. Jackson actually is backed off the 93 of Payne just for a little bit, trying to get his own lane going down. The if these guys would draft just a hair like they were trying before instead of trying to pass, I think they'd have a chance of catching the leader. Otherwise, right now, Bowden to just still over a half a second lead, but not as big as before. It was a .62. Now it's down to a .514.
The other battle I'm watching on the track right now is Mark Jackson in the 3 and Buzzmore in the 11. They've been kind of going at it for a couple laps now. The 11 seems to be working that inside line. He just can't quite seem to get up to Mark's door. He gets back in line, and everybody gets away clean.
Another one of our guys, the 48 of Cody Griffin. He actually got about sideways on the start there, held it back up, got it straight, just past the 88 of Kyle Kamer, doing his best to kind of get up through the field. Kamer right in his tire tracks behind him. In front of him looks to be the 51 of Ryan Matthews. Matthews taking the point to eighth spot. Nice and easy. They're coming up through the field.
Ryan Hill and Colin Bowden still seem like they're shadowing each other. They're not really racing real hard right now. Both of these guys seem like they're very experienced. They know that they're just going to stay in line, make time on the rest of the field.
Got a car sideways out of one. He hits into the grass. Looks like the 51 of Ryan Matthews. He is going through the green right now, still trying to get traction to get back on the track. With that being said, I think he got tapped. We're going to take one quick look at that back up. There is no caution obviously out right now. That just means that racing is still safe. iRacing will let that go.
Yes, definitely. So that was just a incidental contact. Unfortunately, here at Pocono, these drivers, I tell you what, guys, I am still impressed. Every single lap these guys are putting on the show here. I'm watching right now Jeremy Cranwell, number 73. He's all the way back in 24th. He's in that Scoops old-fashioned ice cream Chevy SS. Looks like Jeremy started. We'll update that. We got a caution on the track.
Fellas, that's unfortunately one of them I can't see. I'm not sure exactly why. With that being said, I will say this. Ryan Hill has actually at that point in time caught the 20 of Bowden. He was going to try to make the pass, and the caution flag flew, and unfortunately it kind of killed his chances.
It looks like the 04 was involved in that of Brian Coots. We'll get that replay pulled up real quick here, fans. Just give us a second. It looks like, as far as my perspective goes here, the 04 of Brian Coots, that might not have been the right car there. Joe, do you have another insight on who calls that caution?
Robert, no, I was up here watching turn one. I don't see who wrecked him. I just know that the 04 caught the bad end of that deal there towards the end.
Yeah, unfortunately, gentlemen, I've got a little bit of problem with my car where I can only see so many cars. This is one of them I unfortunately couldn't see because it was a little far back. I will tell you this, though. I am looking at the 04 right now, and unfortunately, I don't think his night is completely done, but the front end and the rear end took one hell of a hit. I'm hoping he's able to get it back out there. Right now, kind of 2 laps down in the 32nd spot. I mean,
75 and the 04 were the ones involved. Looks like
Yes,
the
sir.
75 just kind of lost it, and the 04 accidentally paid the price. So you hate to see that happen to any driver out here.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of beating and banging, but these guys seem to gather it up real quick. Of course, these high horsepower cars, keep one thing in mind here, even though this is not really considered a super speedway, these guys do shift at different points, especially going down to 1 and shifting off at 3 from what I remember here with these higher horsepower and higher revving cars.
Hey, you know, and it's a quick track fact for you. That started back in '91. Mark Martin was the first to experiment with shifting gears down that 3,740-foot long front stretch.
It does make an advantage. I mean, it does pick it up. Now, here we go, guys. Here comes all the cars in, what it looks to be, with the exception of the pace car. For tires, fuel, now would definitely be the time for that. Lap 17, of course. Looks to be 63 laps to go. I think they can stretch about a 30-something window on fuel. And, well, this definitely gives everybody the advantage. I'm looking down to see if anybody stayed out. I think I am seeing everybody on pit road at this point. No, we do have a couple guys. Looks to be the 88 of Kyle Kamer. And ahead of him, trying to see down there into the front turn. First turn will be 54 of Brandon Cruz Monsalves. Looks like they're taking a chance on possibly another caution. With that being said, if they can stretch their fuel out, of course, shutting off the vehicle, driving in high gear under caution, they may be able to stretch it out to the point where a caution would come back out. get a later fuel run, stay ahead of the whole game, and maybe even take over the lead for a bunch of laps. Seems like a couple guys are finally coming back out onto the speedway behind them.
Now, it looks like there's some two-tire strategy going on early. From what I'm hearing down here in the pits, Nick Reynolds and Raymond Rittenauer have both taken 2 tires. I know they beat out Colin, so it'll be interesting to see how those 2 tires hold up against those fresh 4 Goodyear rubbers.
Well, right now, being early in the race, I think they're going to be just fine for that because there's not a lot of laps on the tires that they've got. I mean, if you think about it, we've had 2 cautions so far, roughly about 6 laps total for both cautions. We'll say 3 to 4, maybe even 8 for that case. So if you think about it, maybe they've got 10 to 12 green flag racing laps on a set of tires they didn't take. So it still is going to have a lot of grip to them. As long as they can take and drive it conservatively, they should be okay.
Yes, sir. Real quick, I do want to make sure everybody understands we are watching the AdPro 360. Actually, it's the AdPro 200 here on All Pro Broadcasting. Fans, make sure you click the subscribe button. We're going to step away for a real quick commercial break. You want to make sure you tune into AdPro. As the name states, it's a full-service agency located in Colorado Springs, Colorado. AdPro 360 is your #1 stop shop for getting your business messages and name out into the eyes of those that need to see it. Some services they offer are full in-house creative and commercial production, SEO, SEM, and paid research services, as well as media buying, messaging, and lead generation, to name just a few. Make sure you go to adproresults.com to find out how you can get your business the recognition it deserves. We're thankful to have them on board here. Fans, we'll be right back.
When you're ready,
Surf Pro, how can we help?
help gets there faster. The cleanup specialists at 1-800-SERVPRO and ServPro.com. Helping make fire and water damage like it never even happened.
Hey, this is Garrett Smithley, driving the number 0 JD Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting.
Just enough time to get back to the start. The field comes off of turn 3, led by Brandon Cruz-Monsalves. Brandon said, and I quote, "I hope you guys like going 3 wide in the start here because apparently he's predicting something." Pace car will be pulling off as of right now. Gotta build that drama. Green flag in the air. The 88 of Kyle Kramer. Kramer will take the lane right to the stripe. Beautiful jump. Brandon Cruz predicted it right. Went to the bottom. Let the 20 of Colin Bowden to the front. Trying to get underneath the 88 of Kramer down to turn 1.
Colin Bowden said, "I'll have none of it. That's my lead, and I want it back." Here comes the 20 down towards turn 2. He's going to put the move on the 88. Look for Colin to take the lead as they race off into 2.
Keep in mind, Kramer didn't even pit this time. He's got no tires, 20 with at least 2 that I know of, possibly 4. He'll be followed by the 55 of Hill to the inside of the 88. Also behind them looks to be the 42 of Talarico, and it seems like a package just going to freight train the unfortunate of the 88.
Kyle Cameron will continue to drop. Back up front, we're just going to reset. Looks like Colin and Ryan are back up towards the front. They seem to be pulling away already from the rest of the field.
Yeah, that's the way it was at the beginning. When Hill and Bowden were up front, they just took it to the point and went with another mover right now after the first lap. The number 3 of Mark Jackson. He just moved up to the 4th spot, getting underneath the 42 of Tanner Talarico. Tanner Talarico still fighting back for that 4th place. Actually, as I said that, it looked like Mark slipped back a little bit. We go to the number 1 car in the 5th place, so Jason Jacoby seemed to come out of nowhere, going to the outside of the 42, trying to make the move. 42 slams the door before they hit turn 2.
One thing to keep in mind is I'm going to keep an eye on Kyle Cameron back here. You know, we know he's on old tires. He's already back to position 7, and he's dropping fast. So I don't expect people to stay out very long on those old tires towards the end of the race. Everybody's going to either come down and get 2 or 4.
Lap 22, heading to the 23rd, circle around this time. The 6th place right now going actually into the, well, no, it would be the 6th place of Eric Stanford, the 24, fighting against the 3 of Mark Jackson. They seem to be doing on a pretty good battle. Up front, of course, the 20 of Kyle Bowden, trying to pull away. Has got about a 6-car length between him and the 55 of Hill.
Looks like Curtis Young got right there on the wall just a little bit. Just kissed it, scraped it up just a little bit, but the 94 seems like everything's straight. He's going to be battling the 56 for that 11th position.
Tell you right behind the tire tracks, they all spit that out of the 56 of Josh Bonwell. By the way, I must say real quick, hi to Josh Bonwell's mom. She's in the chat listening tonight, wishing him luck and cheering him on. Great job so far by the 56 in 11th spot.
I tell you what, guys, this has been an incredible start to the race. It's also been an incredible restart after this caution. We definitely got some people up front that are trying to make their first name here in the Domino's TYJ Racing Series Top Shelf Cup Series, which is the class act. You guys got to be some of the best drivers here, and I'm talking to a couple of best drivers right now in the booth. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate Ray Richer and Joe Johnson helping me out here tonight. Real quick, a Domino driver profile for Joe Johnson. He's not racing tonight, but he does race in our Truck Series and our Xfinity Series. He is always in that 83 car. And Joe, I'm going to let you give us a couple of quick updates on...
All right, man, caution is out.
Caution is out.
After this caution, sorry, Joe, I'm going to get right back to you. I want to hear all about you.
Looks to be, guys, the, let's see here, the 51 of Ryan Matthews, unfortunately, involved again. It looks like the 99 of Colin Select went to the low side going through the tunnel turn, come up the track and caught the left rear of the 51, and unfortunately kind of gave him a little spin around in turn 2. Kind of looking at the replay a little bit further, basically the same thing I said before. I kind of backed it up a hair. Looked like the 99 just had a killer run down to turn 2 and couldn't cut off the momentum, and unfortunately caught the 51 in the left rear. Obviously, that's kind of what happened here. I'm being told in that code. I'll take a look at it one more time from my angle just to make sure that I'm incorrect, which I will definitely admit if I'm wrong, which to be... One moment, I'm reminding it now, taking a look at my screen. And yes, I have to agree with this. It looks like a giant netcode, but on the same note, the 99 looks like he got a little bit of rear end tap from the 17. But that net code afterwards, heck, they had at least, oh my god, in reality, probably 2 feet between them cars. So unfortunately, it was definitely net code. Net code in here is basically like a ghost bump, we'll kind of call it. Cars don't necessarily make contact, but the iRacing server shows that they did. And unfortunately, 51 of Ryan will be at the short end of that stick.
Yeah, Ray, I completely agree with you. It looks like that 17 did give the 99 just a little bit of help, but that net code is something serious between the 99 and 51.
Yeah, I mean, not like the real world, we call it kind of an arrow loose, but we are looking at it in the replay, of course, on the broadcast, and there's no question. There was definitely at least 2 feet between them cars, and obviously there's no necessity of a penalty there. Looking at 20 of Colin Bowden, he goes down pit road. We're going to see if he takes 2 or 4 this time. I do believe he took 4 last time. We'll keep an eye. He's going up to his pit stall as I speak.
It's with Ron. It looks like Ron, he overshot his pit. It's going to be interesting to see how many spots he loses as he comes off pit road.
Behind him, looking at the 55 of Hill. Hill will get the right sides up. First can of Sunoco fuel in. Left side's up. 4 tires will be the cause, of course, of most of everybody on pit road. Seems to be the same with Colin Bowden. Bowden will be taken and beaten out of pit lane. Looks to be, trying to see here.
He's going to at least lose 2 or 3 spots right there on pit road. That just shows you the importance of pit strategy. Just one simple mistake is going to cost him 2 or 3 positions, but I don't look for him to stay back there too long. I look for Colin to race his way back up to the front in fast and in a hurry.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking at it right now. A bunch of guys beat him out there. At least 3 of them. 24 of Sanford, Jason Jacoby in the 1. Basically, like you just said, he overshot his pit, and that mistake is crucial because you got to realize these guys put 4 tires and 2 cans of Sunoco fuel in a matter of roughly about 13 seconds. And if you go ahead for a second and back up for 2, there kills 3 of those 13 seconds and gives an advantage to anybody else out there.
And you know, I was down here last week racing the Xfinity Series. Track position here is so important. You don't want to find yourself back there in the 8th or 9th spot because back there it gets 2 and 3 wide, and you never know what's going to happen through these turns. You want to be
absolutely.
up front.
Absolutely. I mean, the 2 and 3 wide, especially when it happens to that point, you're basically, if you're behind anybody and a wreck happens and you got to keep control of your car at those high speeds, you can be involved in it pretty quick. At this point in time, I'd like to point out the pizza giveaway. I see that we're not halfway there yet. We've got 14 laps to go until you get your pick in. It'll be lap 40. All you have to do is text Robert, and I'm looking for his number as actually I'm talking to you because he's got it memorized.
I'll tell him real quick. No, thank you so much, Ray. It's 919-883-7497 fans. We love our fans. I'm telling you, fans, if you're watching what we're doing tonight, we want you to keep watching. And we're going to give you a free pizza. If you like pizza, if you like hot, fresh, melt-in-your-mouth cheese and pepperoni and sausage and beef and onion, green pepper, I don't know what you like on your Domino's pizza.
I'm on a diet, dude.
I'm telling you what, if you want
Robert, can we get one of these delivered to the booth?
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. You guys work for us, so you cannot get it. But if you want a veggie with green pepper, onion, mushroom, black olive, green olive, jalapeno peppers, banana peppers. I'm telling you what, I'm trying to make sure these fans realize that we're I don't want to say dead serious, we're alive serious about giving you the free pizza. All you got to do, fans, is text 919-883-7497. Or if you're watching on the live chat tonight, you can say, I picked this driver to win the race tonight before halfway, which I think, Ray, tonight is lap 40. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. It's an 80-lap race, so it'll be lap 40. One thing I'd like to point out to help you guys make your decision, I'm looking back right now, and I don't believe that the 93 of Andrew Payne, the 88 of Kyle Kamer, or even the 54 of Brandon Cruz Monsalves actually pitted. It looks like they're still staying out.
Yeah, I tell you what, track position is going to be huge here. And you guys correct me if I'm wrong. I think we might have one more lap of caution here for the pace car. If I'm wrong, make sure you correct me. Do we have one lap?
You're good. Pace car.
Yes, sir.
On,
yes, sir. Yeah. I want to give a real quick shout out. I tell you what, guys, we have been very, very fortunate here at Domino's TYJ Racing on a lot of fronts. We've got, in my opinion, the best broadcaster All Pro Broadcasting fans, if you're watching tonight, make sure you click the subscribe button so you get the alert every single time we go live, which is Wednesday night, Thursday night, and Sunday night 8:50. Sunday night is our dirt racing. And I also want to give a quick shout out, obviously, to Ray Richer. He's one of our greatest drivers. He's also one of our infamous best vocals here in the broadcast booth. But I want to give another big shout out real quick to Joe Johnson. Joe has decided to come up into the booth tonight. I tell you what, Joe, I really, really appreciate it. Give us a quick detail if we got 1 minute left, I think. I think you just won the fastest Xfinity Charlotte race record on iRacing total. And give us some more information on the company that sponsors you and everything. Shout out. Go ahead, Joe.
We're sponsored by iWraps on Facebook. That's facebook.com/iWraps, IWRAPS. It is true that our Xfinity Toyota Camry turned the fastest lap in open setup last week at Charlotte. Somebody has beat us by a tenth, so now we've got to go back in, fix that car up, see if we can't turn that fast lap again. We always enjoy racing with you guys. It's the best league out, and we're just thrilled to be here.
I tell you what, Joe, it is, there's no words to put for what it takes to get the fastest lap, even if you got beat by a tenth 2-3 days ago. Congratulations. Thank you so much for helping us out here, and we're very, very thankful you're part of our league. And
we
you guys,
appreciate that. And I'll tell you what, I've already called Domino's. They've got a guy on the way up to the booth, but we're ready to call this green flag again.
Bring the wing.
yes, sir, you guys take the restart here.
Appreciate the good words of kindness there, Mr. Robert McFarland. Your best one yourself. Base car lights are off. We're going to go green right now. We got the point out. Kyle Kammer with no tires, no pits, right on the point. Andrew Payne in second. But to the outside of him, Brandon Cruz. Brandon Cruz taking and holding it up. We have a wreck right off the back. It looks like Jason Jacoby and Eric Stanford. We'll get the replay pulled up for you.
And this is what I was talking about earlier, that being there in the back, the track position is so important. Cautions breed cautions.
Yes, sir. Yes, fans. We are watching this right now. We're pulling up the replay. Fans, give us a quick second here. It definitely looks like on the restart. These drivers, fans, it's hard to understand. But these guys, go ahead, Ray.
I was going to explain one thing. One thing, we always like to have our guys stay in line before they cross the start-finish line. Now, watching this replay, everybody did exactly that. The 24 of Sanford went immediately to the low line. The minute he crossed the stripe, got to the inside of Jacoby. Jacoby tried to make the same identical move on the 54 of Brandon Cruz, and unfortunately did not see Sanford there, and down the track he went spinning. So basically both guys, same move. It just happened to be an unfortunate circumstance.
That's exactly what I'm looking right now. Ray and Joe, on this replay, these guys are trying to time the restart. We're here at a 2.5 mile oval, pretty much flat track here at Pocono. The track facts has been out there. And these guys were trying to get every advantage on the restarts, and that's exactly what happened. One guy was trying to make the move on the inside. Right one, another guy right in front of him was trying to make the exact same move.
Yeah, it does happen. It almost actually was 3 wide there for a short moment, but it just kind of, the minute they touched, it kind of made short work of that.
I tell you what, Ray, I'm looking at the one in the 24, and they have got a lot of damage on those cars. You know, they may be able to fix some of that in the pits, but don't look for either of these cars to be competitive for the rest of the evening. I believe they're probably done, but it'll be interesting to see if they'll finish the race under these conditions they're in now.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, Joe. One thing I will say, that these guys, I don't hear any screaming going on, any fighting, which is a good thing. These guys are pretty professional when it comes to that and understanding. I do understand that this is racing and you want to be up front, but these guys are very professional with each other, and I think it was very cool with them to kind of admit fault. It does happen, both the same move. Both actually had, Jacoby had a run on the 54, and Stanford had a run on Jacoby. And Stanford was the fastest one of those 3 cars, and it just kind of happened to end up as like a domino effect, unfortunately.
You know, Ray, I'm paying attention to what's going on up front, but one car that I'm starting to see sneak into that picture is the 11 of Bud Moore. He's in that Budweiser Chevy SS. He continues to work towards the front, and it'll be interesting to see how his strategy is going to play out now that some of the cars ahead of the leaders are on old tires.
Yeah, Buzz Moore, top 10 most of the night, started 9th. Pretty good lap. I mean, right now he's in the 6th position. Car doesn't look beat up at all, no marks on it. Seems to be keeping it pretty clean. Of course, behind him, the 94 of Curtis Young. I think he has a little bit of right side damage when he's kissed the wall earlier. But Buzz, pretty professional driver, has been in a lot of different leagues. Seen him in Super Speedway Club at one point in time, driving a Pontiac of all things, getting that thing off and blowing the dust off and running it. But no, Buzz, real good driver. Should be able to see him in the top 5 by the end of the night.
Oh, right now it looks like Buzz is on the infield taking a little shortcut right there. Some of these drivers, they have to break the monotony up, and he's back on the road, back in line. I tell you what, these guys, they're so competitive. You know, we saw right there on the start how 2 guys went for the same piece of real estate. You're going to continue to see that time after time throughout the rest of these restarts all night long.
Yeah, I agree with the breaking up the monotony. Now, keep in mind these guys are going at about 65 to 70 miles an hour under caution. They're used to doing 190 plus. And you got to realize, too, being a big track like this, is, again, 2 minutes they got to kind of kill while they're waiting for everything and figuring out pit strategies and everything. But if you're staying out, that's a long 2 minutes. You do your best to try and save some fuel. You shut off the engine, push the clutch in, let it coast a little bit. That actually does gain a good lap or 2 per lap as you're doing it. I mean, it kind of sounds weird, but fuel strategies do come into play in places like this. Right now, everybody, by the way, excuse me, Joe, lap 32 is what we're on. We'll be restarting on lap probably 34. That'll give you 6 laps to get in your pick for the pizza tonight. Again, all you got to do is pick the winner by lap 40. And if you want to, you can take and put it in the the line in here on YouTube as you're watching. You can put down who you think the winner might be, or you can text Robert McFarland at 919-883-7497. Again, that's 919-883-7497. Just text him who you think's going to win by lap 40, and if you pick the winner, you get yourself a pizza from Domino's.
What's that number one more time, Ray? I think I'm going to sneak a text in.
Absolutely, man. 919-883-7497. That's directly to Mr. Robert McFarland's phone. He is one of the announcers, obviously, in here this evening. And even if you just want to wave and say hi, send him an emoticon. You know, just, hey, Robert, yo, what's happening in Raleigh tonight? He's in Raleigh, North Carolina. Well, actually, in the booth here at Pocono. Let's kind of make that right. But Rob will be glad to take and get your pick by lap 40.
And fans, it's so cool to see the winners of the Domino's Pizza every week as they go on Domino's TYJ Facebook page. So we all get to see the grinning, happy faces when they open that Domino's Pizza and that aroma of cheese, pepperoni, and sausage hits them all at once.
Yeah, I tell you what, thank you guys so much. We love giving away the free pizzas. I tell you what, I cannot ever get enough Domino's Pizza. And yes, I do have to pay for them. And the free pizzas we give away, we do cover that. But we are happy to do it. And unfortunately, Joe, you can send your text in tonight, next week. But Joe, you will not win the free pizza, Joe, because you are one of the members here at Domino's TRJ Racing, as are you. Ray, thank you for your help here in the booth. I tell you what, you guys are doing an unbelievable job. I tell you what, I hope the fans are enjoying you guys. And I'm just going to sit back here. Again, 919-883-7497 fans, and you will win a free large 3-topping Domino's Pizza. It is carry-out only. Want to make sure, in case anybody missed that, we will not drive the pizza to your house in these, 850 horsepower cup cars. You will have to go to the store and pick it up. But if you win, we will let you know tonight. Yes, sir, Ray. Yes, sir, Joe. But you will have to go to the store and pick it up, but you will get the free pizza tonight. And if you are as cordial enough to give us a picture, we will put it on the Facebook page. Half the people do not want to give the picture, and we completely understand that for privacy reasons. So sometimes you see the picture, sometimes you do not.
You know, I'm going to tell you whose hands this race right now is playing into, especially with lap 40. Kyle Kamer in the 88. I cannot believe he stretched it this long. I don't think I've seen his car in pit lane yet, and there's been 3 cautions. Again, you can stretch it under caution best you can, but I'll tell you what, he's playing the game tonight, and he's playing it very well right now on the point, and getting points for leading every lap that he's out there.
Ray, you know, the lights are on still on top of that Ford Mustang pace car. Let's talk real-world racing here for just a minute. You know, last week, the Coke 600 fuel mileage, just how important it is. But how about that attitude from Kyle Busch in the post-race press conference? What are your thoughts?
You know, I'll tell you, you take a guy like that, and I don't want to say too much here because I kind of keep public opinion out there, but I will tell you this. He's there to sell M&Ms, and that's their opinion. And, of course, we can go on and on about this whole deal. Personally, I think to kind of go towards the kid side of the sport is a little ridiculous, but on the same note, if you want to see the true colors of these drivers and build some drama, that's what they got to do. Now, I was told a long time ago. I'll give you an example of this whole quick. Well, you see the pace car lights going out right now. I'll make this quick. I was telling one of my friends down in North Carolina, says, you know what, I'm not a big fan of Kyle Busch. And he says, why not? I says, well, think about it. He's rude. He's inconsiderate. He doesn't care about anybody but himself. I mean, that's the way I look at it. He goes, but wait a minute. Are you talking about him? I go, well, yeah. He says he's doing his job. So if you think about it, he's right.
No, he's exactly right. And while we're talking about Kyle Busch, I have to confess to the world, I am a 18 M&M's Camry fan. So, yeah, I'm not real sure how I feel about it, but it's always good to see that 18 up front running strong.
No, I'm not doubting that he's a really good driver. I mean, absolutely. And he knows his stuff. He knows how to keep it out ahead. I mean, there's a few things I question, but on the same note, yeah, he's one of these things I really hate to say that I think NASCAR needs, and I think he's doing what he thinks he should be doing, and it's keeping him in a ride.
I completely agree with you. All right, well, hey, let's reset the field. It looks like where I'm sitting from, Tanner Tallarico is going to be the leader, and to the outside, Kyle Cameron working that fuel mileage in the 88.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing real quick. As far as that goes, when you have a winner, and we have got a lot of winners here at Dominus TYJ Racing, as well as NASCAR, you hate not to win. So we've got a dozen guys every single week not trying to get the free pizza. They're trying to win one of these races. And we love to have a first-time winner. And when you see somebody like Kyle Busch locked out and winning a race, a points race in NASCAR, it doesn't bother me too much to see how frustrated he is. I know he's got commitments there to the media, but guys, I'll let you take the restart here. And I tell you what, I just love to see emotion.
We reckon
Tanner
back up,
Tallarico's back on that loud pedal. Here comes the 88, and here comes our boy number 20. It looks like he's going to drop to the inside. He's going to be looking for second place as they race off into one.
Little bit almost contact with the 42 and 88 down to turn 188, holding his own to the outside, goes a little bit high, leaves the door open for the 20. He'll take the advantage. Door to door coming out of one. He'll take it into second spot. Tanner Tallarico in the 42 will take over the first spot. 20 falls into place, and we're down the Long Pond stretch.
Tanner Tallarico is still out front, but Colin bound in that 20. He's doing what he's done all night. He's driving a smart race. He's going to pull up right up to the back bumper of Tanner Tallarico as they race off towards 3. Not quite there yet.
Look out now. Here comes the 55 of Ryan Hill fighting back. 88 of Cameron losing a bunch of spots with those old tires. Hill down to the low side, easily getting by him into turn 3. Following the tire tracks, the 11 of Buzz Moore.
Speaking of Buzz Moore, like I said, he's been moving up all night. The car looks great, not a dent on it. He's going to put some pressure on the 20 as they race back off into 1. Here comes the 11.
Another one we spoke of earlier with damage fixed again. 5th place spot, 98 David Washington back up into the top 5. Keep an eye on this car, the 98, all night long. He seems to be doing a killer job. Again, folks, 4 laps to get your pieces in, 4 laps to go.
Well, these drivers are hungry, and so are these fans. Fans, you need to get your picks in right now. You need to look at the battle that's going on right there, no further than the front. It's going to be Colin, Buzz Moore, and Ryan Hill. They've been up there all night long, and they're still right where they started. One of these 3 cars, I think, is going to victory lane. Give me that 11 car.
A little bit of a battle to the back. We see the 99 of Colton Sladick slam the door of the, I'm trying to see who it was, 81 of Shane Parrish through turn 2. Just about touches the wall. Everybody keeps it going. 81 falls back at least 4 spots.
If you want to find the big battle, go all the way back to 12th place. They're 3 wide, diving down into 1. Some contact. I can't quite see who that car is, but man, what a show back here in the back.
Little spin, Jeremy Crandall into 1. He's got it straightened back up, 45-degree angle. Back straight again, loses a few spots, but still keeps it under motion out of turn 1.
That battle I was referring to earlier, that's Jeff T. Martin and Colton Salem. They're back here battling for the 12th and 13th spot. Looks like Jeff T. Martin right now is going to have that as they race off down the back.
Add the number 3 of Mark Jackson to the mix to the inside of the 99 of Colton Salem. The number 3 will try to take that spot going down to turn 3. A little gaggle of cars there, as Dale Walters would say, down into the front stretch.
Well. Look who's back up front. It's that 20 car. It's going to be Colin Bowden once again, followed by Tanner Tallarico, Buzz Moore, and Ryan Hill, all right there together.
Looks like the fight's going to be for second place. The 42's got it at this point in time. Hill wants it side to side with the 11 of Buzz Moore. Looks like a dogfight for the third spot, doing their best to kind of straighten it back out. Hill will take the wise decision to back off just a little bit, but will come back strong to the door of the 11 going down through the tunnel turn.
You said back off. Ryan Hill said he'll know. Here he comes. He's going to put the move on him right up front in front of Buzz Moore in that 11 car. Give Hill the place right now.
Don't worry about David Washington. He seems to be doing a great job himself on the inside of the Buzz Moore, looking for that fourth position. Side to side, going around to turn 3. Washington on the low side seems to be hooking it pretty good. We pull alongside the 11 of Buzz Moore, backing it off again, trying to do like a Ryan A. Hill move like we just saw, getting a little bit of momentum.
There's trouble in the back.
Curtis Young to the inside
Big
of the front,
wreck, big wreck.
Caution is out. Caution is out.
Yes, sir. We will bring that replay up as soon as we can, fans.
All kinds of cars involved. Looks like Mark Jackson's back here. He's going to have damage as well.
I really hate to say this, fellows, but it looks like the 94 had a run on the 48. Tapped the back end to him there just at the stripe, actually. 48 went up, tapped the wall, come back down, and hit the 94 of Curtis Young, and unfortunately sent him to the inside of the fence.
Looks like Gary Sexton got caught up in that too. Looks like Gary Sexton has a lot of damage on his car as well.
I think it was just a little bit of a try at a bump draft with the 48 of Cody Griffin, and unfortunately it just didn't work. Cody kind of lost his traction, raised the rear end of the car right off the ground, turned it right, came back down, and of course collected 17 in the 94 of Young and Gary.
Yeah, it looks like sorry about that, Joe. I'm looking at the replay right now. It definitely looks like down this long front stretch, which is how long, I'll ask you this real quick in a minute, Ray. Looks like the 94 is just trying to give the 48 of Cody Griffin a little bump tap there. And for some reason, the 48 absolutely gets loose once that contact occurs, and the big one happened.
Yeah, these cars were right on the edge. 3,740 feet there, Robert, of front stretch. Again, the longest one in NASCAR. They just try to keep it on the floor coming out of 3. And unfortunately, like I said, Curtis Young had a run there. Curtis Young had a run. I'll correct myself pretty quick. And he just got right up on the back of the 48. I think he tried to push the 48 trying to get a little more momentum out of him, but just didn't work out very well.
Yeah, that nice bump, that slight bump trap there from Curtis Young to the 48. Looks like it got the 48 just a little bit loose. Curtis wouldn't make that move on the inside. The 48 was already out of control.
Looking right now, the 48, I'm kind of looking at the rear end damage of it. It seems to be quite significant. I don't think he has pitted yet. And to be honest with you, I don't know if he's going to. I mean, at this point, but we'll see what happens here once he comes around turn 3. It looks like he's staying on the low side where he's going to be pitting here shortly.
Well, I've got my eyes on Mark Jackson. I'm looking at his car now from the booth, and it doesn't look like he's got too much damage, right? I think if he gets in the pits and he fixes that hood, he might be able to continue.
Yeah, we watched most everybody go in here behind the pace car. Again, keeping an eye on that 48. We'll see what kind of time it takes him to get out. Obviously, 4 fresh ones would be the call here. And I'm going to take a look right now also at the 88, if I can locate him, of Kyle Kamer. He's actually back in the 26th spot. He obviously did he just stay out again?
He did. He stayed out again.
How is he able to stretch it that far? I didn't think you could get 30-something laps out of this thing. But you know what? If that's his strategy and it brings up to the front, good move, bud.
You know, if Kyle Kamer is able to work the fuel mileage like this, he's turned this into a one-stop race while everybody else has still got to stop again.
Yeah, my fuel guesses are way off here because for him to make it out 41 laps, and by the way, excuse me for my interruption of myself, but 41 laps into the race, we are officially halfway through. Voting for your favorite driver or winning driver this evening for the pizza, unfortunately, has closed. That happened last lap during the caution with the 94 and the 48, guys.
Yeah, it looks like
I'm listening to the drivers in car, and they're saying 25 to 30 laps. So, Ray, what are we missing?
I'm not really sure. I'd have to look back in history and see if he's taken any tires at all or any pits. In fact, give me a little bit, fellas. I'm going to look back myself just for curiosity's sake and see if I'm wrong.
Yeah, if Kyle hasn't pitted yet, Kyle has figured out something that no other driver here has figured out at Pocono. And if he does that, fans, you better watch out. I'm not kind of wondering if he ain't got an extra gas tank back there somewhere in the back. Surely he's had to pit.
You know, I'll tell you, I've heard little things before about the real world where guys would hide gas in their roll bars and underneath seats and all kinds of things. Unless he figured out some sort of code or something, I don't know what's going on, how he's keeping it out this long.
Well, I can tell you one thing, fans, Joe, Ray, and every single driver in this race, none of these guys have an extra gas tank.
Here comes the 88 guy. Oh, no, he's going to stay out again. Wow, the 88 is just, I don't know what he's doing, but it's going to be fun to watch.
I'll give him a lot of credit, fellas.
Yeah, I tell you what, this is definitely going to make the strategy interesting for the rest of this race, guys. And who is going to put this up front? Looks like, obviously, that caution was a big one, like we already discussed. A little bit of bump drafting on the front stretch went wrong. That can happen every single time. Again, fans, I do want to remind you, we will definitely let you know about the free pizza giveaway before the race is over. But just a quick reminder, we're staying right here. You are watching the Ad Pro 200. Ad Pro, as the name states, is a full-service advertising agency. They're located in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Ad Pro 360 is your #1 stop shop for getting your business's messaging and name out into the eyes of those that need to see it. Some services they offer are full in-house creative and commercial production, SOE, SEM, and paid search services, as well as media buying, messaging, and lead generation, to name just a few. Make sure, fans, you visit adproresults.com to find out how you can get your business the recognition it deserves. I tell you what, they have definitely helped Domino's TYJ Racing here in the last few weeks, last couple of months. We're definitely happy they're on board here. Guys, what are you looking for the restart here at the race?
Well, while that pace car still got its lights on, I was going to run through the top 10 for you. Kyle Kammer, who's got fuel, I guess, all in the car, is going to be first, followed by Nick Reynolds. Second, looks like Nick's actually going to come to pit road. Third, Raymond Rittenauer. Fourth, Colin Bowden, who I still think's got the car to beat tonight. My other pick, Buzz Moore, back there in the 11. He's going to be sixth. Tanner Tallarico is seventh. David Washington and the Regis Ford is going to be eighth. Josh Bonnell is going to be ninth. And Jason Jacoby should round out the top 10.
Gentlemen, actually, since we're going back to green here shortly, I unfortunately am having some technical difficulties over here. I may have to get up and come back in. I'll let you know here as soon as I possibly can. Joe, you're going to have to call this restart. I'll be back as quick as I possibly can here, guys.
Sounds good. We will hang out and we will do our best here, but hurry up and get back to us there, Ray. Fans, I tell you what, you talk about some good racing tonight. These guys have been giving it their all. We've still got a lot of racing to go. The Domino's TYJ guys showing you why they're the best in the business. Robert, what are you looking for here in this restart? Fans, it looks like I'm the only one in the booth right now. I believe Robert has stepped out. The field doubles up. The lights are off the top pace car. We'll be looking for that green flag this time by. Kyle Cameron will be on the outside. Looks like Colin Bowden, the 20, will be on the inside. Now, remember that Kyle stayed out in that 88, so I look for the 20 to make quick work of him as they go off into one. But let's watch that 88 because he's got some type of fuel mileage strategy that he's working, and it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out in these closing laps here at Pocono and the Tricky Triangle.
Green flag, green flag.
The pace car is off, and once again, they're back to green. Kyle Cameron gives the restart. Here comes the 20, but watch out, the 11 to Buzz Moore. He's going to take them 3 wide, thinks better of it, gets back in line. They're 2 by 2 as they race off into 1.
I tell you what, this is very exciting here on the restart. These guys are scratching and clawing for every position here, Joe.
Oh, looks like we got caution out, Robert. Looks like we got a wreck.
All right, man, caution is out. Caution is out.
Yes, we're going to pull that replay real quick. Fans, It looks like the 62 was involved, and I'm not sure he was at fault, actually. We're going to pull the replay real quick. I'm going to pull a replay right behind the 62.
Robert, I'm not sure who all was involved, but at the back end of a car's a telltale. I bet the 89 somewhere.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm looking right now. The 62 goes into the corner. Actually, it was in front of the 62. My bad. Sorry about it, Joe. I think you might be correct there. Looks like the 93 and the 1 were involved. That would be Jason Jacoby.
Jason Jacoby, his night just can't seem like he can catch a break. He was involved in that earlier caution as well. I'm looking at his car now as he's running down the front straightaway, and the whole front end of the car is just gone. Jason Jacoby's going to have a lot of work to do in the pits here tonight.
Yeah, it looks like the 93 of Andrew Payne. He's in that Tallarico Signs and Designs, number 93 Chevy SS. Looks like he had to get out of the gas. He was on the inside of the 51 of Ryan Matthews. And before he knew it, Jason Jacoby, that number 1 Domino's Pizza Toyota Camry, was right into him. I tell you what, these guys, they're racing hard. They're trying to get every single inch they can. And unfortunately, that's exactly what brought up the caution.
Robert, allow me to interrupt you again. I'm looking at this replay one more time, and I'm really convinced that they've got some more net code going on, because if you watch the 1, he gets near the 93, but he doesn't really make contact with him. I'd be interested in seeing that replay one more time. I believe we've got some serious net code going on tonight.
I tell you what, this is very interesting here. I think you are absolutely right there, Joe. I cannot disagree with you one bit. This has been, the last couple of nights, we've seen some of these incidents where it doesn't really make a lot of sense. And I'm looking right now, I'm looking from the back of the number 89 of Gio Bramante, which is a forward view of the number 1 of Jason Jacoby and the number 93 of Andrew Payne. And just like you said, they didn't actually touch. They had a little bit of net code there, and it got them both loose. Unfortunately, it did cause a caution. So this is going to change things a little bit more. Joe, tell us what you're seeing on pit road.
Right now, it looks like there's not a lot of takers on pit road. It looks like the 20 may have a little bit of damage, which is going to be interesting to see. The 88 seems like he's still playing that fuel mileage. Now, allow us to give the fans kind of an idea, in case you're just joining us, what net code here is at iRacing. Whenever 2 cars get close, there's a simulated wreck with even the cars not touching. We've had a lot of net code tonight here in the race, so it'll be interesting to see if the iRacing software kind of fixes itself, or this is a problem that may continue to play out throughout the race.
Gentlemen, I'm sorry I kind of got out like that, but unfortunately I was having some connection issues myself. I'm actually back now. I did hear you guys talk about the wreck. I've got my eye right now on the 20 of Bowden, and I happen to see that Kyle Kamer is still up front with him. I believe that Kamer is going to be starting on the inside line, which is going to be a big disadvantage with those old tires. But we'll have to see how this all kind of pans out. It seems like things have kind of smoothed out on my side right now. We'll keep our fingers crossed, and we'll go on with the race.
Yeah, 10-4 Ray, it's good to have you back up here in the booth. Me and Robert were just discussing this net code that seems to continue to plague us here at Pocono. We were just explaining to the fans kind of what net code is. Is this something that we've seen all week on the servers, or is this something new tonight?
I'm thinking it's new tonight. I've been on a server a couple times. We raced a truck race last night. It seemed to be okay. We were at Texas with the Domino's TYJ Dented Fenders League. There didn't seem to be a lot of net code that I was aware of. I heard of a few wrecks, of course, but being in it, you kind of don't see the wrecks unless they happen around you. And, of course, you're not watching the broadcast. But on the same note, I never heard the word net code that I'm aware of last night at all. That could have been said by the announcers, but, again, I'm talking to the drivers and the fellows that we're racing against. But I'm not really certain. I haven't been on too many times this week, but tonight, definitely, there's a load of it. And, again, what happened on my end, just so you know, if the server can't communicate with my computer and vice versa, it gets what we call lag, and of course a lot of people know what that is. And cars just start jumping all over the place, disappearing, reappearing, and that's exactly what I was seeing on my screen. So I disconnected, reconnected, refreshed the server on my end, and we seem to be pretty good at this point. let's hope that it kind of pans out and no more lag or netcode this evening.
Yeah, we'll definitely let you know, guys. Last night we had a serious netcode issue. I think it was between the number 6 truck of Gerald Campbell and a different truck. But I watched that replay like I do almost every replay, guys, 2-3 times. And last night, that particular incident, there was at least 3 feet in between the two vehicles there. And unfortunately, caused a big wreck. Took out the 85 Judd Danielson, who's having a really rough time here with the number 6 of who I just mentioned. And obviously, it's nothing intentional. When netcode happens, there's nothing you can do about it.
That's exactly right. When netcode hits, it affects more than just you. It is a pain. As an iRacing guy, we always hate to see it, especially when it influences the outcomes of races. So I really hate it for these guys. A lot of these guys have had their nights ruined, not by bad racing, but just by some problems in the system. So hopefully they'll be able to bounce back here next week.
So you keep in mind, fellas, one thing with iRacing, we do understand this is a simulator as well as a computer simulation. What ends up happening, like, for example, if you take and you're in like Call of Duty, we'll say, if you touch somebody with a bullet or just a little bit, and then they kind of call that netcode, but it's not the same. Here in iRacing, things have got to think so fast, and it's got to make a decision so quick. That's why when netcode comes into play and it gets a little confused, it makes a decision of a wreck. Now, the other thing, keep in mind, we are not the only race going on right now. There could be hundreds of racers that are happening right now, and those servers are taking care of all the races. So, I mean, it's quite a vast community of different computers put together and wires and so on. So, give them a lot of credit. iRacing still has done a fantastic job, but these things do happen, of course. With that all being said, excuse me, Joe, that the doubling back up, pace car lights look to be off. This will be lap 49 on the restart. 48 is what we're on right now. Here we go again with Kyle Kamer up front with those old tires, and I think Bowden's going to walk him right off the start.
Ray, I'm hearing from race control that they're talking to some of the drivers about laying back on restarts. Is there an advantage to that? Do you think these guys are trying to build up some speed so they can dive out of line right there at the start?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, every foot that you got behind a driver, if you can time it just right and just hit the gas a little bit before it, you'll have momentum getting to the line where you can jump out of line, obviously go to the low side or the high side, whichever obviously line you're on, and get around that driver. Now, in real-world racing, you have a legal right to pass somebody on the outside before the start-finish line in most series. In this series, we asked everybody to stay in line till after the first start-finish line. But yeah, holding back is definitely an advantage. That's why we try to get everybody bumper to bumper on the start.
Well, we know that the Domino's TYJ race control staff up there in the tower does not play around with these restarts. Looks like all these cars are going to get lined up nose to tail here as the pace light, as the lights on the pace car turn off. We'll be looking for that green flag to send them off back down into turn 1 again here at Pocono.
As it's being said, everybody front to tail. Nobody laying back from what I can see right now. Green flag in the air. Pace car off. Bowden, really good start. Hill right behind him on the outside. Kamer kind of almost left in the dust, but fighting back down to turn 1 will fall in behind the line of the front two.
Three's company has been all night. It's Colin Bowden, Ryan A. Hill, and Kyle Kamer. Look out, here comes the 51 car. That 88 on those old tires, I tell you what, he is doing a heck of a job keeping that car up front. I am impressed.
51 of Matthews, involved in 2 different instances this evening, has brought it back to the 5th place spot. Started 21st, very fast mover. Of course, he's not the fastest one. Kamer is, because he's still in 3rd, starting 24th. Everybody knows the tail going down to the tunnel turn.
Here comes Ryan Matthews. He's going to put the move on that 88. He's going to dive low. Tanner Tallarico is going to think about it as well. He gets back in line. They're still side to side and door to door as they're going to head back down the front straightaway.
Looks like Buzz Moore is going to join them as well, right around the 88 of Kyle Kamer. Kamer's going to lose a bunch of spots coming off of turn 3. Of course, the 11 still fighting for that spot. Looks like they're heading down to turn 1, and Buzz will take the low line. Oh, he'll actually fall behind the 88. Nose to tail.
We'll give that spot to Buzz. Tanner Tallarico said he's not. Oh, we got a caution.
Sounds like it was Brandon Cruz. All I heard was a little bit of comments out of him. We'll get back to that and get the replay up for you. Actually, it was behind him. Looked to involve the 93 of Andrew Payne. And, okay, give me a minute on that one. Let me review this a little bit further. I see Mark went down the track as well, Mark Jackson.
Yes, fans, we will get the replay pulled up here real quick. And we'll be back in just a couple of minutes with the replay of the caution. What happened? Looks like the 3 Mark Jackson was involved here. Looks like he is actually definitely claiming responsibility. He messed up there. What did you guys see on the number 3?
I'll tell you what, Mark Jackson seems like his night has gone from bad to worse. He keeps just like he's always in the wrong place at the wrong time. Looks like he's going to claim that caution. We hate to see that. Looked like he had gotten that car fixed from his previous incident, so Mark Jackson's going to go back towards the end of the longest line once again.
I'm seeing what happened here. Actually, Mark tried to take and make a low-line shot in turn 1. An unfortunate left rear corner actually contained the 93 of Andrew Payne. Payne just tapped the right rear of him. The 3 did come down on him. There seemed to be no question about that. Sent him up into the fence. Unfortunately, lost control, came back down, then hit the 93 to kind of add insult to injury, and collecting, let's see, the 71 looks to be of Wesley Whitfield at that point in time, and we had a couple cars right off the ground.
Ray, looks like we got a couple new players here in the top 10. Colton Salick and William Davis have come up here, so looks like the Chevys are starting to come to the front. There's a lot of them up here in the top 10. It'll be interesting to see if these guys can make their way up even further.
30 laps to go. That's what it seems to be from here on out. Kyle Kamer still in the 4th position. We still don't have any clue if he's pitted or not yet. I really wished I had that info at this point in time, but ahead of him, little kudos to the 51 of Ryan Matthews. Matthews in the 3rd place spot, started 21st. Again, involved in 2 incidences, had some wrecks, some damage, and brought it back to the top 5 at this point. It looks like we will be on lap 51 this time across the stripe. Not doubling up yet exactly, but, well, we'll keep an eye out for that here shortly.
Yes, sir. We're going to step away just for a minute, fans, for a real quick commercial break. You are watching the Ad Pro 200 live on All Pro Broadcasting. Fans, make sure you click the subscribe button. That way you get all the alerts, you get your free pizza. We'll let you know who gets the free pizza for tonight. We'll be right back, fans.
Smithley, driver the number 0, JD Motorsport Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting.
You're watching All Pro Broadcasting with Freedom Train.
Did your little storm knock out the power? Well, excuse me for not noticing.
Hate to disappoint you, old man Winter. Better luck next time.
If the power goes out, your Generac standby generator goes on automatically.
Down trees? Flash floods? Is that all you've got?
Stand up to the threat of outages with Generac and never feel powerless.
Hey, this is Garrett Smithley, driving the number 0 JD Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting.
Welcome back, race fans, to the Domino's TYJ Racing Top Shelf Cup Series here at Pocono Raceway, brought to you live on All Pro Broadcasting. Again, fans, make sure you click the subscribe button so you get all the alerts to win your free pizza. You are watching the Ad Pro 200 here live on All Pro Broadcasting. Guys, Joe and Ray, what are you seeing for the second or the third of this race tonight?
I tell you what, Robert, my eyes are on that 88 car. We have yet to see him hit pit road. We've had to miss something somewhere up front. That 20th Colin, he's right up there where he's been all night. I look for him to continue to do what he's done, and that's dominate here at Pocono.
Looks to be 23 cars in the lead lap as we're ready to go green right now. Pace cars off, green flags in the air. Front row full of excitement with the 20 of Colin Bowden and the 55 of Hill. The 20 with the great jump over the 55 of Hill. 51 of Ryan Matthews will take him to the third spot, heading down to turn 1, but Buzz Moore will not have much of that. He's coming to the front, slowly but surely. Between him and the front 3 is the 88 of Kamer.
Kamer shuts the door on Buzz real quick, says, no, sir, not this way. He's going to pull back in line in fourth. Up front, it's still Collins showing the way.
Looks like actually Buzz had to get out of the throttle there a little bit. He got passed by the 42 of Tanner Tellerico, as well as the 98. Again, don't count him out of David Washington. David Washington trying to get to the top 5. A little bit of spreading out, 3 wide. The 42 of Tellerico will have the advantage, getting around the 51 of Matthews down through the tunnel turn.
Back here in the back, it is a hornet's nest. Ryan Matthews, Buzz Moore, Colton Salick, they're all banging and beating on each other. Right now, it still 2 wide as they race down the front straightaway.
A little bit of apologies there from, we got a caution. Caution's out. Looks to be the 32 of Dustin Lee to the inside of the fence, and Shane Parrish joining him. We'll see what happens from here on out in the replay, guys.
Yes, fans, give us just 1 second here to pull up the replay. It definitely looked like some really hard racing there. Looks like the 88, got into the back of the 51 there of Ryan Matthews. They kept it straight, but behind him, we definitely had a spin here. We'll pull it real quick.
Best fellas right now coming off of turn 3. The 32 of Dustin Lee just overdrove just a hair trying to avoid the wall. He lost it, kind of bobbled a little bit, came down, collected the 81 as the 81 was full bore coming off of turn 3, collected both of them down to the inside fence.
Tell you what, when they come off 3, they are at a full head of steam, upwards of 200 miles an hour. So when one mistake is made, it's multiplied 1,000,000 times. Instant fence those drivers go. We see it all night, and I don't think we've seen the last of it.
Well, it's like I said 1,000,000 times, these cars are driven right on the edge with the horsepower they've got, how light they are. I mean, they're 3,600-pound stock cars. These tires, basically, if anybody doesn't know out there in the real world, and even with iRacing, there's no grooves in these tires for rain. They're all flat. The more rubber you can lay down, the better you are. Of course, you're only touching about 2 to 3 inches of that rubber at the most when it's laid down flat because of the air pressure in the tires. So if you lose that just just nip a little bit or get them arrow loose or something, they're going to go crazy, and that's what happened this time.
Looks like we're working lap 57. It'll be 58 when they get back to the stripe. This race is starting to wind down. If you're not in the top 5, top 6, you need to get there quick, fast, and in a hurry. Otherwise, you're not going to have a shot at winning this race tonight, in my opinion.
Yeah, unfortunately, with that all being said, the 81 of Shane Parrish, obviously a victim of circumstance here with the spin of the 32, went down a lap. We have 21 cars right now still in the lead lap in for this. The 34 of George Hendricks, who we haven't spoke about all night long, seems to be picking up the rear pretty good. Doesn't seem to be any damage to his car by all means. He's still got a really good shot at this. I know he's back there quite a ways, but we still got a lot of racing to go yet.
One car I'm starting to keep an eye on is Colton Salick. He broke into the top 10 a few laps ago. He's worked his way up to 7th. He's got a good car. Looks like all the fenders are still on it, straight, narrow, not even a donut on the side. So it may come into a factor or not that the 99 may be up front before too long, as it looks like a lot of cars might be coming to pit road.
Now, with that being said, behind him, the 51 of Matthews actually took a rear end shot during that last caution. It was during the time the green flag was out. And by the way, we see Kyle Kamer finally coming down pit road for some fresh Goodyears and some Sunoco racing fuel.
Somebody needs to take a snapshot of that car because I hadn't seen him down there all night long.
Yeah, I agree with you, Joe. I don't understand why it took us so long to finally see that. But I'll tell you what, if he stretched it this far, great move on Kyle's part. Obviously, he'll be starting to the rear at this point. With that being said, ahead of him looks like the one of Jacoby. Nope, I'm sorry. Let me correct myself here. I'm trying to see who's back there.
Now, here's an interesting question. The cars up front, when was the last lap they pitted? Do you remember?
Actually, I believe it was back late 30s, I would assume, just before the halfway mark, I'm pretty sure. So if that's being said, now, Kamer, say he stretched it out. Say you can stretch it out to 60 laps with all these cautions. And being that there's a caution now, I don't see any reason any of the guys up front have to pit because they don't have a lot of green flag laps on them tires.
It'll certainly be interesting. We always know Pocono. They don't call it the tricky triangle for nothing, so it'll be interesting to see how these last few laps play out.
A lot of good names up front, including David Washington in the 4th spot. Again, started at 4th, still back at 4th. He was back all the way towards the tail end during one of the wrecks here earlier. Got everything fixed up. Damage is pretty much repaired. Has his aerodynamics back, and obviously that hasn't hurt him all that much. Buzz Moore in the 11th right behind him. Strategy all night long, trying to keep to the inside mostly. Doesn't run the outside line all that much, but I'll tell you what, he's making that car work very well.
Well, it seems like the same names are up front. You know, you got Bowden, we've got Hill, Tallarico, Washington, and Moore. So I think it's going to come down to one of those 5. And right now, my vote's probably on the 20.
Well, I'm still going for the 55 of Hill, but I'm going to tell you what, there's another player here that we haven't spoke about a lot all night, but we have talked about him. The 56 of Josh Bonwell. Josh started 12th. He was outside, of course, the top 10 during qualifying, but look where he's at now. 6th place, good shot at it. It looks like if we continue on with these caution laps, we'll probably restart lap 60, 61. That'll leave 19 to 20 to go. That's plenty enough time to get off these laps with the green flag with the tires that they've got, the fuel that they've got, and do not count out that 56 just yet. One of the biggest movers right now, actually one other guy I'd like to kind of speak of, a veteran in the Domino's TYJ Racing Series, a 62 of Ellery Queen. Ellery Queen was only 31st fastest in practice time, started 32nd with no qualifying out of the 35 places, top 10 right now, 9th place. Not a bad place to be, of course, with only a handful of laps to go. Very good driver, a lot of give and take, good head on his shoulders. I think he's got a good shot at this as well, Joe.
I think anybody in the top 10 has got a decent shot here, but I really believe you've got to be up front. 6 on up front is going to be my pick right there to win the race. If you're behind that, I just think you're out of it right now. You know, one thing we haven't done tonight is get a driver up in the booth. Is there any way we can get old Colin up here on the radio?
Yeah, let me see what I can do about that. Hang on, buddy. Let me see if he's in TeamSpeak.
Yeah, I'll pull him up real quick here. Just give me a second. Looks like we're looking for Colin as we speak.
Yeah,
but he's not available right now.
How about that 88, Robert?
Yes, sir. We're going to pull him up real quick here. Give me 1 second.
You go ahead and take him, Joe. You'll be glad to take and ask a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Joe. You've got Kyle Cameron in the 88.
Hey, Kyle, this is Joe Johnson up in the booth. We've been watching you all night, man. It seems like you've got some hidden fuel somewhere in that car. How many times have you pitted tonight? Because we'd like some clarification.
My crew chief kind of predetermined before the race exactly which laps we were going to stop on. So no matter where the cautions fell, we were going to stop at lap 14, lap 36, and lap 58. That was kind of the plan from the beginning. Thinking we could go 23 laps on fuel at full speed.
Now, these cautions, they've seemed to help you out and stretch it. What's the longest you've gone without stopping tonight?
I guess from lap 14 to lap 38, so whatever the math is there while I'm trying to drive around people.
Right about 24 laps. No, you're doing a great job, man. We've been very impressed. We've been talking about you all night. And before the race is over, we hope to see that 88 back up front again. You think you got what it takes to get it back up there?
Yeah, I think so. I got fresh tires, and I'm not so sure the top 5 guys will be able to make it on fuel, so I'm hoping that it stays green and I get a chance to run some of these guys down, yeah.
Well, hey, we're going to let you get back to doing what you do best. Good luck to you tonight.
Thank you.
Joe, I got to say right now, dude, we were way off on mileage. I mean, I was guessing 30. I thought he was stretching it out to 60 at this point in time. At this point, also, the pace car lights are off. We'll restack them back up. We're in the tunnel turn right now with the pack. And I'll tell you what, he's been pretty good with his fuel runs. I mean, to stay up as long as he have, we must have missed a couple pits with him.
Yeah, absolutely, because I have not seen that 88 hit pit road all night. So we've definitely missed that 88 somewhere. Ray, call us back to the green. Looks like they're stacking up in 3.
Absolutely, and a lot of excitement again on the front row with the 55 of Hill and the 20 of Kyle and Bowden. We're going to take and watch him come around turn 3. Don't count out Tanner Tellerico in the 42 or David Washington. The pace car is finally drama. Pulling off. Green flag in the air. A jump by the 55 of Hill, but Bowden won't have any bit of it. Back to the front. He'll go, followed by the 42 of Tanner Tellerico. Down the front chute. He might not be able to clear the 55 as yet, but he'll try down in turn 1.
Looks like Ron Hill is going to be able to come down in front of Tanner Tellerico. Tanner Tellerico is still going to work that bottom side. 98 looks to the outside, but out front, it's that 20 of Bowden's Chevy SS doing what he's done all night, starting to pull away once again from the pack, bringing Ron Hill with him.
98 of Washington got a lot of momentum off that turn 1 there, trying to get past the 42 of Tanner Tellerico. Tellerico fighting back, has the advantage through the tunnel turn, gets him by about half a car length on the way out. 56 of Bonwell, like I said before, do not count this kid out. He's a killer driver, took the spot away from Tellerico. He'll take over the 4th spot going down the front chute.
A little back further, it's going to be a battle for 7th and 8th as Ryan Matthews and Buzzmore go at it. Buzzmore jumps back in line as they're going to go down that long front straightaway. Everybody knows the tail through the top 10.
I think what they ought to do now, in my own opinion, if I was in one of these cars, ride it out in at least 5 to maybe 6 laps. I mean, if you think about it, lap 62s with around, there's only 18 to go. We get to the top 10 laps, that's when it's going to be go time. You got to go all the way back to the 12th spot, the 73 of Jeremy Crandall, to have any battle going on. He gets by the 88 of Kyle Kamer. Kamer shooting back to the inside, trying to get to his door before the tunnel turn. He will get it done. He'll pull that position about a half a car length and try to get past Crandall. Crandall will not have it again. Door to door down to turn 3. Seems to be the only battle right now on the track. The other guys are kind of riding along. Door to door, they'll go down through turn 3.
Not so fast, my friend. Looks like we have a battle starting to form up front between David Washington and Ryan Hill. The 98s will come right up on the back of that 55. He's been working him over since turn 1 of the last lap. They're all nose to tail back again through the top 3. Here comes David Washington, right up on the back end of Ryan Hill. He looks on the inside. Not right now. Ryan Hill's going to shut the door. Looks like, oh, wait, here he comes again. One more time. Nope, back in line. David Washington in 3rd.
Washington knows how to use that draft, but keep in mind these cars still have a bit of an arrow push. What that means is when you're drafting behind a guy, you lose your front downforce and the front end just wants to push up the track. You kind of lose your steering for a bit, but you got to realize when to back the throttle off. But I'll tell you what, Washington's using that draft to the best of his advantage. He's actually helping the 55 catch Bowden down to turn 3. Nose to tail, front to back, 1, 2, 3, they'll go.
You know, one thing that's interesting is Bowden isn't pulling away from Ryan Hill this time like he's done in past runs. It looks like Ryan Hill has got something worked out in that 55 car. He's been able to keep the pressure on him a lot better than he's doing most of the race. So maybe they've been playing a little bit of a chess match up front, hey, Ray?
Oh, yeah, I don't disagree with that. As you're saying that, Washington to the inside of the 55, trying to make a run happen, doesn't let it go this time. 55 fighting back full throttle. He'll have no choice but to fall in behind him. And that, no, I am incorrect. The 98 still tries to make it to the inside before the tunnel turn, almost taps the back of the bumper. Everybody knows the tail through the tunnel. Back here, the guy that's smiling right now is Josh Bonwell in fourth. He's watching these two guys battle. He's going, yeah, you guys keep fighting, and I'm just going to keep sneaking right up on you. The 56 starting to make up some ground on third place. Nice and smooth. That is definitely the word you've got to do now. The spotter's got to be telling him. Make sure you hit your marks. Make sure you use your head. Don't overdrive it, because right now that's going to keep you at the point. Colin Bowden doing a fantastic job holding off the 55 of Hill. They're only 0.186 seconds dividing the two of them at the stripe. As Washington tries the low side again to take that second spot, they'll be door-to-door down through turn one.
You guys are doing a great job calling this. I'm going to let you keep calling it. I'm going to keep watching it, but you guys are doing a great job.
Appreciate that, Robert. Washington again trying down the long pond chute to get that speed to work to his advantage. He's going to try another low shot through the tunnel turn. The 55 will let him go. He goes up the hill. Bonwell trying to take the advantage of that shot, but Hill will block him down on the low side, giving the advantage to the 42 in Tellerico, trying to get by the 56.
Looks like Josh Bonwell is going to work that low line one more time. Not sure that he can make it stick this time. Looks like Ryan's going to pull on it just a little bit. Tanner Tallarico jumps in line behind Josh there as they race back down the front straightaway.
Giving a little shove down the front chute. Actually goes to the inside. Tallarico uses that draft, tries to take into a slingshot by him. It looks like it might work. Door to door down to turn one. Tallarico on the low side. Bonwell up the hill. An advantage to the 51 of Matthews. Matthews now to the inside of the 56, but backs off just a hair. It'll be door to door with Tallarico and Bonwell down the back chute along pond stretch.
Josh Bonwell makes that top side work. He's going to pull out around Tanner Tallarico, back to fourth. Josh Bonwell's fans on Twitter or on YouTube starting to make some noise. That 56 is coming.
His mom is watching tonight. Fourth place, Mom. He's digging and doing a fantastic job. Again, don't count this kid out. Going back up front, the 98 of Washington, right on the bumper of Colin Bowden. Colin doing his best to still hit his marks, run his line. Lap 66 will be 67 at the stripe, 13 to go.
And I'm asking myself, where did the 98 come from? All night long, it's been the 20 and the 55, and suddenly the pay window's open, and here comes that 98 of David Washington.
Well, he knows what time it is. He's not going to try to make that move till later. Actually, I might stand corrected here. He's trying that low line. The car won't stick the way he wants it to. He'll still keep the momentum right in the tracks of the 20 of Bowden. In third place, the 55 Ryan Hill. He'll be at least 3 car lengths back. Bonwell's still in the shot for it, but again, 8 back from the third spot.
You spoke too soon. Looks like Tanner Tallarico will take a look on the inside of Josh Bonwell. Gets a little bit of loose coming out of 2. Not quite there yet. Josh Bonwell still holds fourth place as they race off into 3. I spoke too soon. Here comes Tanner. He's going to take over that 4th spot, push Bonwell back to 5th.
I think Bonwell may have used it up a little bit. Of course, Ryan Matthews trying to take that advantage. He tried the low side. He'll try the high side now. Looks like he's got a chance. Nope, back off. The 56 to the inside of the 42. Tanner Tallarico trying to hold him off to the 4th place shot.
Somewhere Josh Bonwell can hear his mother cheering, because I tell you what, he is driving the wheels off this race car tonight. That kid's impressing everybody in the 56.
Absolutely. He does a fantastic job every week that he runs here in the Top Shelf League. He's still doing a fantastic job this weekend, putting on one heck of a show. To the inside of the 51 of Matthews, he'll try to do it again. Matthews won't have any of it. He'll take and pull ahead. Everybody back in line. Behind the Bonwell machine will be the 11 of Buzz Moore.
Back up front, the 20 and the 98 seem like they're getting away just a little bit from Ryan Hill. I tell you what, the 98 is giving the 20 fits every lap. He's right there, right under his bumper. Now he's going to work to the outside. Here comes the 98 on the outside. Josh Bonwell.
Bowden.
Looks like, yeah, the 20 is coming down pit road.
No reason why.
Now, does this open up the door for the 88? Are we going to start seeing pit stops here?
Not quite sure. He did say he didn't think that they were going to make it to the end. This might just be a splash and go. We'll keep an eye on it for you and figure that out.
Yeah, I'm following the 20 of Colin Bowden to pit road. He's coming down his pit stop. He stops perfectly in pit road. It looks like no tires. He's getting just a splash of fuel, and he's away. Looks like 3, 4, 5, maybe 4 seconds, so he is only getting a splash of fuel. I tell you what, guys, this is really going to make it interesting.
You know, with that being said, I'm wondering if the rest of these guys can make it the rest of the way. The 98 obviously on the point, the Hill and the 55 machine not taking the same line. Now, see, if they lined up and got a draft going, they'd be able to pull away even further. Of course, it's a second and a half that separates from first to third. There
here come the leaders. And it's going to be a fuel mileage race. Here we go, guys.
What's going on with Hill?
Hill's coming down pit road. A bunch of other cars will.
Hill missed the pit. He missed the pit. He's back out. He's under slow movement. He's being passed by a lot of cars down the front chute.
That's a big mistake. Yeah, it's a big mistake by the 55. It looks like Dave Washington's coming to his pit box. He slides in the pit box. It looks like no tires at all for the number 98. Actually, he's getting right side tires. David Washington, the 98, get right side tires. He's getting left side tires. I do not believe this. And probably 1 can of fuel. He is off. That could be the race-winning move.
Gentlemen, third
guys,
place.
Don't look now. Kyle Kamer is in third place. We talked to him just a few minutes ago in the booth. We know he's been working fuel mileage. Ray, I've got to believe this plays right into his hands.
I believe so. We've only got 10 laps to go, gentlemen, and I'll tell you what, that 10 laps can be stretched by this car as we see the 99 of Colton Salek pull into the pits. Ahead of him, Kyle Kamer, that is the 24 of Eric Stanford. I do believe that Eric is a couple laps down at this. No, he's 1 lap down. He's the first car lap down at this point.
Kyle Kamer has worked this perfectly all night long. I believe if it stays green, we're looking at our winner right there in the 88. But we're going to see.
Well, yes, sir. Yeah, I got one more thing real quick there, Ray. We got Ryan Matthews. It's the leader of this race as we speak in the number 51. He qualified 21st. He is leading the race. He could be on the same exact fuel mileage stretch plan as the 88 of Kyle Kamer. So it's going to come down to these two guys. Not to mention Jeremy Crandall. I'll tell you one thing, guys, the 73 Jeremy Crandall, he is always great at stretching fuel. He started back in 34th. He's running third. So I tell you what, it's going to be exciting to see. I don't think any of these guys can really make it, but I could be wrong.
Ray, right now I'm watching the timer intervals. Ryan Matthews looks like he's almost 4 seconds ahead of Kyle Kamer. So if they're on the same fuel strategy, I'm not sure that Kyle can catch him, but I'm not sure that Ryan has enough fuel left in that tank either.
Yeah, I got to agree with you, Joe. See, in the real world racing, they've got a bunch of people that watch all these pits and everything to see what individual drivers do, and they feed it back to the announcers. So it's the three of us doing our best to try to cover every car on the track. So obviously, we don't know the pit window of Ryan Matthews. We kind of know the pit window of Kyle Kamer because obviously he spoke to us here in the booth not too long ago. And look who now is in third. The 73 of Jeremy Crandall. I wished I knew when he pitted last. It may have been with the same point of Kyle Kamer. Let's see if he can take and pull out a third place spot this evening.
I tell you one thing, Jeremy Crandall is driving that.
Matthews, he's at pit road. Kyle Kamer will take over the lead here at Pocono.
Wow, that's exciting. And that does look like it's going to put Jeremy Crandall up there in the top first or second spot. He's in that Scoops Old-Fashioned Ice Cream Chevy SS. He's also got quite a few other sponsors on his truck, his car tonight. That would include the Hermie and Elliott Sadler Foundation. We love having all kind of foundations. And it looks like Jeremy's going to try to stretch his fuel out. He looks like he's going to get past right now. Looks like Nick Reynolds is coming around him. But Jeremy is definitely trying to get his first win. And I think he might can pull it off. We'll just have to see.
Boys, I'm riding with Kyle Kamer up here in the front, and I'm listening to his throttle response. And right now, he is to the floor. He's got plenty of fuel, and it looks like he's up front, and he's headed for a win here at Pocono.
This place, as basically race, has completely flip-flopped, guys. These guys have just basically flopped the whole race around. We have got some names that we haven't talked about all night long, including the 5th place, 87 Machine of Raymond Reitenhauer II. He has been in back of the pack most of the night, qualified 22nd without a time, but boy, top 5 right now as long as he's on the same pit strategy. Behind him, the 66 of Jack Watts, 31st position is where he started, top 5 possible as we speak.
Yes, sir. I was just going to talk about real quick a Domino's driver profile real quick on our leader, Kyle Kamer, that number 88. Kyle is from Indianapolis, Indiana. His team is Kamer Racing. His main sponsor is Interstate Batteries. Also, the All Battery Center, which are located in Sandusky, Ohio, and Concord, North Carolina. He'd like to give special thanks to Domino's Steel J Racing, and he might pull off his first one tonight here in the number 88.
5 laps to go here at Pocono. Kyle Kamer has given the field a lesson on fuel mileage. I tell you what, I remember winning my first race at Domino's TYJ. My heart was beating fast, my hands were sweaty, and I was excited to get back to that checkered flag. So I know what that guy has to be feeling inside that race car. He's just 5 away from getting his first one at the Domino's Top Cup Shelf.
Someday here, buddy, someday here. I congratulate you on your win, but I'm going to hope they take and congratulate the 88 of Kyle Kamer this evening. He's doing a fantastic job of fuel mileage. Him and his crew chief spoke at the beginning. Of course, he told you what laps they were planning on pitting. Obviously, he did hit those marks, and I'm pretty sure, I'm 90% sure he can make it to the end.
Yeah, like I said, I'm up here listening to it now, and he's on it the whole time, so I don't really think he's doing any type of conservation. He is just ready to get these last few laps burned off. He is to the floor as he gets down the front straightaway.
Right now, almost a 5-second lead over second place, a 73 machine of Jeremy Crandall. Again, I'm actually in the cockpit right now with Jeremy Crandall. He is on the floor himself doing the same exact thing. I'm going to say he's going to be able to make it to the end.
Now, Ray, why don't you give the fans at home just an update on iRacing's caution system should the caution flag come out now with 5 to go?
Pretty simple, actually. See, they didn't build into the system a green-white checkered finish. So basically, if they were to spin right now under 5 to go, unfortunately, whatever order they are in, the caution would come out, the field would be locked, and that is where everybody would finish. So Kyle Kamer would obviously have a mulligan on the whole thing and win the race. But I'd like to see it green all the way to the end. It seems like it's going that way right now. I would, I'd like to see a green-white checkered someday, but they're working on it. They still did a fantastic job anyways, and it's been an exciting race all evening long.
I tell you what, we're talking about green-white checkered. That green Interstate battery Chevrolet SS is gone. He is down in turn 1. He's waiting to get back to that white flag lap. Kyle Kamer up front, leaving everybody else behind.
I hate to say it too, but he's gaining every single lap. At this point in time, the 10 of Nick Reynolds actually slid underneath Jeremy Crandall into the second spot. Crandall's still not far back, but he's got at least 3 cars on his tail that would like that third place, including the 66 of Jack Watts. There's a little bit of a gaggle of cars back there. The 51 of Ryan Matthews will be the second car 1 lap down, and unfortunately, unless there was a caution, he doesn't have any chance of getting that back.
Yes, sir. I want to give one more quick shout out to the number 87. You guys mentioned him earlier, Raymond Reitnauer. He started back in 22nd. He is racing in that Racing Warehouse Chevy SS, the number 87. Ray is from Connersville, Pennsylvania. His team is RAR Motorsports, and his main sponsor is the Racing Warehouse. It's good to see him having a great run in 5th.
Robert, I'm watching on TV as well, our broadcast. It's interesting to see just how far out Kyle Kamer is on the rest of the field. There's not another car in any of the shots. Kyle Kamer is bad fast, and he's hungry for that checkered flag right now.
Give you a bit of an idea with that whole thing. If you're a tenth of a second between each car, so say it's 0.10. If you're a tenth of a second between each car, that's about 1 car length. So if you go up to 10, that's 10 car lengths, and obviously every second would be about 10 itself. So he is about 60 car lengths ahead of everybody right now for second place in the 10 of Nick Reynolds.
I'll tell you one thing, Nick Reynolds is having a great run tonight himself. Nick, it looks like he started, real quick. Nick started back in 16th, and I'm not sure if he's had a win this year yet in 2017 for Domino's TYJ Racing or not, but Nick is having a fabulous run here, racing in second position right now. He is racing in that Southeast Motorsports. He is actually pulling the train for Southeast Motorsports. We love Southeast Motorsports. All the drivers in that group, they're all great drivers, and Nick is definitely the showboat of the group tonight in his number 10 Chevy SS.
I tell you what, Ray, they call this thing the tricky triangle. It has not been a problem tonight for Kyle Kamer. He comes back down the straightaway. He's looking for that white flag. Call us home, Ray.
I say that, as you say that, 17 cars on the lead lap. Ellery Queen was actually the last car to be seen on the lead lap, and he is just coming out of turn 1 as Kyle Kamer is entering turn 1. So let me tell you something. Smarts definitely won this evening. Kyle Kamer and his crew chief, fantastic job. He'll turn around, come down the Long Pond stretch, back to still 6 seconds back, almost 60 car lengths to the 10 of Nick Reynolds. The 66 of Jack Watts is taking over the third spot. And the 87, as you were talking earlier, of Raymond Wright and Howard the second, will be in the fourth place. Jeremy Crandall right now in the fifth spot. There's a couple guys a lap down that are involved in these guys up front, but I'm going to tell you what, it don't look like it's going to change much from here on out. As we go down to turn 3, we see the 88 of Kyle Kamer, excuse the confusion, easily come off of turn 3 down the front chute. He will be on the floor with the fuel he's got left, and the 88 of Kyle Kamer will pull off the victory tonight at Pocono.
The pit crew is going crazy. There's a celebration down here in the 88 pit box. He has put a whooping on the field. That Interstate Chevrolet SS takes the checkers here at Pocono.
We had a little bit of an incident there at the front chute. Looks like the 51 of Ryan Matthews went down to the inside of the inside wall on the front chute. The caution will not come out because this is the final lap. But we're going to see what happens here real quick. Congratulations to the 88 of Kyle Kamer this evening.
Yes, sir, Ray. If you'll take the top 15 finishers here, and Joe, if you'll take the second 16 through the rest of the field, I'll get these guys ready for the interviews here in just a minute.
Absolutely, Robert. This evening we had a great race here at Pocono. The 51 incident, by the way, it looks like he was just kind of having some fun doing some fishtails there at the front start-finish line. So we'll start off with the 88 of Kyle Kamer, Mr. Gasman himself. Great fuel mileage, great strategy. Second place will be the 10 of Nick Reynolds. The 66 machine of Jack Watts will take home third. Top 4 will be Raymond Wright and Howard in the 87 machine. Your fifth place finisher this evening, Jeremy Crandall in the 73. Brandon Kuzma-Savas in the 54 will take home sixth. Seventh place will be the 98 of David Washington, who we spoke about all night long and took fuel immediately, the first car before all that fuel strategy came into play to go on pit road. The 20 of Colin Bowden, who actually was up front most tonight, takes home your 8th spot. Your 9th spot will be the 42 of Tarantella Rico. The 58 of William E. Moore will be the 10th spot. 11th spot will be George Hendricks in the 34 machine. Number 12 spot will be Giovanni Bromonte in the 89. 13th place will be Buzz Moore. The 99 machine, Colton Salek, will be your 14th finisher. And rounding out your top 15, the 55, front runner of Ryan A. Hill.
Tell you what, Kyle has got a tank full of fuel. He is burning it down here at Pocono at the start-finish line. Burn them down, 88.
I tell you what, guys, this has been one of the best finishes I've seen in quite a while. And I tell you what, fans, and Ray and Joe both, welcome Joe to the booth tonight. Thank you for all your help. You can never predict who's going to win one of these races. And go ahead.
Go ahead, Joe. You got the floor.
Hey, you're absolutely right, guys. What a fuel strategy that Kyle Kamer employed here tonight at Pocono. It's great to see when somebody sits down and they figure out how to beat this place. And I tell you what, he's got a strategy that many will follow in many races to come here in the Domino's TYJ Racing League.
You know, Joe and Robert, I honestly cannot wait to speak to Gabe because our well wishes are with him this evening. He's feeling a little under the weather, obviously. He couldn't be with us in the booth this evening, but I really hope he's watching at home. This was one killer race this evening, one of the best ones I've seen in Top Shelf. Not to say we've had any bad ones, but I'm going to tell you what, I really enjoyed calling this race.
I tell you what, this has been incredible, Joe. You are pretty much hired here. You get a 100% pay raise for your help tonight. And if you guys, I don't think, Joe, you went to the final 15th through 30th in finishing position, Joe. If you'll do that real quick, I'll get these guys ready for the interview.
In 15th, we had Ryan Hill. 16th was Ellery Queen. 17th was Josh Bonwell. Ryan Matthews finished a lap down in 18th, as well as Eric Stanford in 19th. 12 laps down was Jason Jacoby in 20th. 23 was Jesse Abraham. William Davis finished 24 laps down after his incident. Shane Parrish, 25 laps down. The rest of the field, 26 down was Mark Jackson, Wesley Whitfield, Cody Griffin, Curtis Young, Gary Sexton, Jeff T. Martin, James Nunn, Brian Cutts, Scott Sanderson, and Ashton Crowder finished the field all the way down in last place.
You know, Joe, you were hired, and he says he gives you a 100% raise. Can I ask you, what's 0 times 0?
Yeah, you know what? I was doing that in my head, and it's still 0.
Yes, sir. I tell you what, Joe, you've done such a great job. I'm going to let you go ahead and interview our winner in Victory Circle, Kyle Cameron. I'm going to have a couple words real quick with second and third place finisher in private. So go, Joe, take it away with Kyle Cameron.
Kyle, this is Joe. Hey, Kyle, congratulations on the win tonight. You have put a fuel mileage strategy into play. You worked it perfectly. Congrats on your first win, man. How does it feel?
It feels great. I think I had a top 10 car. I'm not really sure, but I knew my only chance to win was to play that strategy, and it worked out perfectly.
Well, I'll tell you what, your crew chief from the word go had this thing figured out. You need to give that guy a pay raise immediately and sign him to a new contract, because I tell you what, he had a strategy that just beat the rest of the field all to hell.
Yep, we will definitely get working on that.
Well, hey, man, congratulations again. I was glad to see you had enough fuel left in the tank to do some burnouts. And we're excited about your first win, and we're looking forward to many more. And welcome to the chase.
Yeah, I'm excited about being in the chase. If you have a second, I'd like to thank some people who have been supporting me. I'd like to thank my wife. She allows me to do this a lot more than probably she would like me to. I'd like to thank my dad. He taught me how to drive a car. Today is my dad's birthday. To get my first win on my dad's birthday, I know he is so excited. I can't wait to talk to him about it. I got to thank my sponsors, Interstate Batteries, All Battery Center in Concord, North Carolina, Sandusky, Ohio. Jeff and Becky and Kristen and David, thank you guys so much for your support. And also to the group at Box Crush, web development in Indianapolis, Indiana. Dan Finney, great guy, and proud to wear these guys on my car.
Well, I tell you what, you represented them well tonight, and happy birthday to your dad. I'm sure he'll enjoy this just as much, if not more. And hopefully somebody out there in YouTube land decided to pick that 88 car so they can enjoy a free pizza this coming week.
Yeah, if they got it, I hope they invite me over, man. That sounds awesome.
No, I hope so, because Robert wouldn't get us any pizza up here in the booth tonight, but we did enjoy watching you.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, man.
Hey, thank you so much, Joe. Thank you, Kyle. We're now going to let Ray interview our, looks like our third place finisher, Jack Watson. That number 66 had a great finish tonight. Go ahead, Ray.
Jack Watts down here on pit lane. Ray Richard, how we doing, buddy? I'm going to tell you what, top 3 finish for Southeast Motorsports. How do you feel, bud?
I feel great. After we finally got to go green, man, this was a fun race.
Did your run turn into a fuel run just like Kyle Cameron did? Because I'll tell you what, you did a fantastic job keeping up there at the end. We thought everybody would be starting to save at the end.
Actually, I was probably worse off than Kyle, because as soon as I stopped here to park, I ran out of gas. I'm out right now.
Not even enough to do a burnout. Actually, that's the best way to do a burnout if you think about it, bud.
Yeah, but the pit crew's tired because they had to pit it a lot of times, so I couldn't have them help me try to push the car around or whatever, so it is what it is.
Hey, Michael, if you could get a shot of his helmet inside the car, I'll tell you what, that's one of the coolest helmet paint jobs I've seen yet. Jack, I'll tell you what, walk us through the last 10 laps of that race. Was it kind of easy to get around to the third place spot?
It was tough. I was racing Raymond a lot. And I don't know if the lap car slowed him up or he burned up his tires, so that part was kind of tough. And then I was trying to talk to my teammate Nick. He lost, I don't know, his headset or whatever. It's not working, to try to find out if he had enough gas, and I couldn't hear him. He could hear me, I couldn't hear him, so I just went as hard as I could, hoping he wouldn't run out and I wouldn't wreck him.
Yeah, fantastic job there up front. Of course, we were watching Nick, too. He was fighting it with Jeremy Crandall for a little while, and I see you were kind of involved in that mix. A little bit of damage to the car. Can you kind of run us through that? Did you have any damage from any of that last bit of run?
No, I didn't think I had any damage. I have nothing on there. Jeremy was fun. I mean, he was a good time to race with. Every lap I raced him, he raced me clean. Hard like you're supposed to, but clean like you're supposed to as well. So he was a lot of fun to race with.
Absolute fun time watching you guys tonight. It was really fun to call up here in the booth. Anybody you want to thank tonight, Jack?
Absolutely. I want to thank my teammates, Southeast Motorsports. They're the greatest. It sucks that Nick's mic went down, so he can't do an interview. And my other teammate, Dustin Lee, he ended up having a black screen and lost connection. So I'm sorry for that, for the fans and for Robert and for the whole thing. But thanks for all you guys do, Domino's TYJ. This is really a good time when we get to have green flag runs. It's fun with everybody.
We appreciate you guys as well, and it was, again, one of the best races I've seen to point absolutely tonight. Congratulations on a third place, bringing home the 66 machine, Jack Watts.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I tell you what, guys, we are having a small issue here because Nick Reynolds, who finished second, had some serious issues there with his microphone. So we are looking for the next driver in line to interview real quick. And looks like
the 87 Raymond Reitenhauer, if he's still around.
Yeah, I'm looking for him right now. I do not see him as we speak unless I'm overlooking something. But I'm going to bring up one guy. I tell you one thing, he's always got great things to say, and we'll bring him in. Jason Jacoby, I hope you're still available. Can you hear me, Jason? And Jason might not be able to hear me.
Hey Rob. Hey, Robert. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, I'm going to give you a quick interview. I know you had a pretty rough race tonight. We had our third place finisher having issues with his microphone. I know you did not get the finish you wanted, but you are one of the most outspoken, positive Domino's TYJ drivers we have here. It looks like you started 7th. You finished 20th, 12 laps down. Jason, tell me how your race went, how it could have been better, and more importantly, why you're so excited about racing here at Domino's TYJ Racing.
Oh, thanks, Robert. I got to get to the best part first. Racing at Domino's TYJ Racing is because I'm employed by Domino's. I love working there, and it's just a blast to work there. I got a lot of great customers, great coworkers, and great companies. So that's why I love working at Domino's. But the race, man, it was fun. I messed up a ton of times. Like, it may not look like it was my fault, but there were moments that were avoidable from my end, and I got myself into trouble there. But overall, it's a good race. I mean, blessed to have the sim rig I have. Can't complain at all about that. So I'm just, happy to be racing. It's just really cool to race here.
Hey, I appreciate it very much, Jason. You definitely are on the right track to get many more wins. Again, fans, you have been watching the Ad Pro 200 results driven. Thanks, Jason, so much. You have a great weekend. And we're going to get a couple of quick thoughts from the other commentators. Joe, you go first, and then Ray second. I'll give you the race win, the pizza win here in just a minute.
Well, let me tell you what, guys. It was an honor to sit up here with you guys tonight. I'm looking forward to doing it again if you'll have me. And I tell you what, it's going to be fun. In 2 weeks, we're headed over there to Michigan. And if tonight was any indication of how these guys get after it, we know Michigan's a lot faster than Pocono, and I cannot wait to see these guys get back in it again for the top league here in Domino's TYJ Racing.
Ray, what are your takeaways?
I'm actually looking at the comments now on YouTube, and I gotta say, Josh's mom, what a nice lady. She even put out there, blow a gasket, son, big bold letters. I'll tell you what a nice lady she is. Josh, a great driver. One of the best races to date that I have seen. A lot of action, a lot of strategy, a lot of fun times in racing, a lot of battles. I'll tell you what, looking forward to this again. Top shelf all the way. Congratulations to Kyle with that fuel strategy. Great job, Joe. Great job, Robert. Great job, Mike. Just an all-around great night. I'm very glad I was up here this evening.
Hey, Ray, Joe, thank you so much for being here. The winner tonight for the free pizza is Jackie Smithley. She is from Memphis, Tennessee. She picked out that number 88, I guess, early in the race. Maybe she likes interstate batteries. Maybe she likes Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 88. I have no idea, but she picked Cal Camera, so she's going to get that free large 3-topping pizza. Again, for Joe Johnson, thank you so much, Joe. Ray Richard being in the booth with me also tonight. And also, never forget, Michael D'Amico with All Pro Broadcasting. Make sure you click that subscribe button, fan, so you get the notification so you can win the free pizza next time. We will definitely talk to you Sunday night, 8:50 p.m. Eastern, as we resume our dirt racing series. You do not want to miss it, fans. Have a great weekend.
Never look back.